This is the best Czechia team we've seen in a very long time.
Is this the third straight year that the Czechs have scored late on Canada? They have become Canada's nemesis.
They do so great in group play. You know the story with the Swedes. They're trying to find a gold medal. The last gold coming back in 2012.
Czechs will play Sweden for the gold medal tomorrow night.
Minnesota for the grand finale of the 2026 World Juniors. Two nations starving for a gold medal, Sweden and Czechia for the championship. The Canadians bound back from last night's heartbreak to win the bronze earlier, so gold and silver, all that's left to be decided in the next 60 minutes of hockey. As we say hello, Canada, and welcome to the gold medal game of the 2026 World Junior Hockey Championship. James Duthie alongside Cheryl Pounder, Frankie Corrado, and Jeff O'Neill, who's never looked better. Look at him. It's Craig Button, of course, our director of scouting. You know the rule: no Canada, no O. And no matter what happens tonight, we're going to see a rare, historic gold medal. For 14 years, this tournament was a three-headed monster. Canada, the U.S., or Finland won all 14 gold medals over that span. That streak ends tonight. Either we're going to see Sweden winning just its second in 45 years, or Czechia winning its first in a quarter century. To get you ready, the guys who will call the gold medal game, Gord Miller and Mike Johnson.
And James, lots of storylines here, but maybe the most prevalent one is the organized, disciplined Swedes against the opportunistic Czechs.
It really is a contrast battle of styles between Czechia and Sweden. Sweden, you're exactly right. Very detailed, very organized, don't give you anything easy, strong defensively, protect their goaltender, stout in the physical contact. They make it very difficult to get to their net, and they don't get running around. They're very good at being organized their own end for young players. Can they play like that against a team in Czechia who, when they're at their best, they make you look disorganized? They get up and down the ice, they force errors, they're very good at capitalizing quickly when you make them. And I think whichever team is able to do more of what they do well, whether it's playing defense if you're Sweden, whether it's attacking off the rush or off the forecheck if you're Czechia, whichever one gets their game more often, that's the team that's got the best chance to win gold today.
These teams faced each other in the bronze medal game last year in Ottawa. The Czechs won it in a 14-round shootout. There'll be no shootout here tonight, but overtime, a definite possibility. 3 of the last 5 meetings between the Czechs and the Swedes have gone past regulation. James?
Gentlemen, thank you. Both have been frequent medalists in this tournament. 21 for Sweden in their history, 17 for Czechia, but it's just that gold that's been elusive. 2 each for these two nations in their history, but this might be the best chance either has had in a very long time, because so often it's the World Junior juggernauts, Canada or the U.S. or even Russia when they were here, that would get in the way of either one of these nations winning the gold medal. They'd face one of those in a gold medal game. If not now, particularly for Sweden, then when, Craig?
Particularly for Sweden. I mean, we've talked about the heartbreak that they've had to deal with, the great preliminary rounds they've had, the undefeated streak, and they ran into those juggernaut teams and couldn't get on the right side. and they're running into a juggernaut team here in Czechia again. And like, you have to feel for the Swedes if they don't win this game, because it'll be heartbreak of a different kind. But for the Czechs, it will not be easy for the Swedes to beat them. This sets up the two best teams in this tournament are playing in the gold medal game.
Run down the keys to each team winning gold. You can start anywhere you want.
I mean, for the Swedes, Anton Frundell has to be such a big part of what they are trying to do. We heard Mike Johnson talk about the details of the game. Anton Frundell has those details. He is a big physical force who can score goals. He's got 5 in this tournament. He's been successful in the SHL when it comes to scoring this year, and so clutch in the semifinals when that game went to a shootout against the Finns. He shot 3 times. The second time he should have scored, it went double doink, post to post, and eventually scores the one that gets them the win in that game. But he is so much what the Swedes need to be trying to do. Use your feet, skate, have a physical presence, and slow down the Czechs as much as you possibly can.
Well, and he's also going to be up against a very tough blue line. I'm going to look right at Adam Jiricek and how outstanding he has been throughout this tournament in the blue line for Czechia as a whole. He's playing alongside Fibiger right now, but it's what he does in all 3 zones, Guy. Whether he's in his own zone, he can shut down the cycle. He can hit hard in that contact zone. He can lead the rush. He will activate. He has got an absolute bomb. 4 goals and 1 assist right now. He has 22 shots on goal, but more importantly, he has a minute muncher, 23 minutes. So you can expect that he is going to be on the ice.
Well, when you look at the Swedish team, following on Mike Johnson, the 3 defensemen, Boumedienne, Frey, and Celine Valenius, they're great skaters. So the key for Czechia, can you keep them in your own zone? Because they forecheck really well. Those guys are not easy to forecheck. The big blue line for the Czechs is really significant. Not easy to get space. Both these defenses get up and into the attack, both of them. Who can get out of their zone cleanly and who can get into the attack quickly will be a real big factor for both teams.
Well, and I really like Celine Valenius. You mentioned him. I mean, he escapes pressure so very well because of his edge work, and because of that, I think he can lead those exits, Craig. We also watched him with his time on ice playing just shy of 30 minutes in that semifinal game, but it's also his spacing. He gaps up. He knows how to push to the outside, so he's going to be real difficult to play against. Wouldn't be surprised if he is lined up against the Sikora line.
I was so impressed with the Czechs throughout this whole tournament, but especially in their semifinal game against Canada. They took it to them. They didn't sit back and wait. They were tenacious on the forecheck. That's going to continue. This is a team that gains a lot of confidence for beating a Canada team. They feel like if they can beat Canada, they can beat anyone, and now the Swedes are in their way.
We talked in the bronze medal game about, who was going to be able to rebound and get over the heartbreak. Both these teams celebrated the semifinal wins like they were gold medal games, and sometimes there's a bit of an emotional drain there, Craig. Is there a favorite here?
A favorite?
Yeah.
I would say no. I would say that it'll come down to who can really establish their game, as we've heard all the way through this. 2 good teams trying to find a way to just get the slightest edge, because that's what I think it'll take.
Czechia better watch Sweden early. They've scored in the first 2 minutes of a period 8 times in this tournament. That's 44% of the time. It's been their trademark so far in this one. Both getting here in dramatic semifinals. Will we have the same to decide the gold medal game? The guys will call it for you. Gordon Miller and Mike Johnson.
And from St. Paul, Minnesota, it's the 32nd all-time gold medal game at a World Junior Hockey Championship, the first ever to feature the Swedes and the Czechs. As these 2 teams come in red hot, the Swedes are 6-0, and the Czechs have won 5 in a row since their opening game loss to Canada. And the officials for this game this evening here in St. Paul include 2 Canadians, referee Troy Murray from Regina. The other referee is Jani Varanheimo from Finland. Anthony Lapointe of Montreal, one of the linesmen. Joni Pekala of Finland is the other.
Number 16, Anton Frundell.
In goal for the Czechs, 18-year-old Michal Orszalak plays for Prince Albert in the Western Hockey League. 4 goals on 24 shots in the semifinal win over Canada. And for the Swedes, Lova Harenstam has played every minute of every game, has a .906 save percentage, allowed 3 goals on 36 shots, and only 1 in the shootout in the win over the Finns. Patrick Augusta's team has won a medal in 4 straight years now. They would love a gold. Their last was in 2001, and well documented the struggles of the Swedes. Their gold medal in 2012 is their last, and their only one in the last 44 years. Sweden is the home team, will have the last change.
For Kasper.
And Troy Murray gets us underway. Picked up by Leo Celine Valenius. Plays that back around. Anton Frundell goes rink wide for Victor Eklund, who shot 3 times in that shootout last year against the Czechs in the bronze medal game. Edward Shala of Czechia shot 5 times in that 14-round shootout. But the Czechs, who had gone 17 straight without a medal, are guaranteed a medal in their 4th straight World Junior.
And they've got it all working right now for them. Attacking from the back end, pairs on defense that work really well together, depth up front, lots of scoring. And don't mind when the play gets physical and emotional. I almost wonder if they don't try to make the game that way.
Celine Valenius a long shot off the goal post. The Swedes score early. They have struck in the first 2 minutes of a period 8 times in the tournament. Chias plays it down and Celine Valenius goes back, and the Czechs have been scored first upon 5 times in their 6 games. Celine Valenius drops it back off. Laid around by Eddie Yenborg, the Detroit second-rounder. Viggo Bjork, who had a nightmarish overtime against the Finns, missed on 4 breakaways, took a penalty near the end of the overtime period, was the first shooter for the Swedes in the shootout and was stopped.
Stop, no more.
In comes Max Kern with a shot that's blocked as Sasha Bohmenian got in the way. Race back to the Czech zone as Rada Mrtka goes back to pick it up. Mrtka, the Buffalo first-rounder, one of 3 first-round picks in this Czech lineup. Mrtka plays for Seattle in the Western League as Thomas Galvis works it. His backhand shot knocked away by Herenstam.
You haven't watched Czechia play. 23 Galvis, he's a defenseman, but he'll be up the ice, he'll be behind the net in the offensive zone, all over the offensive play for Czechia.
Alphonse Frey. For France, the Swedes do get a magician for this game tonight. Lucas Pettersson has 4 goals for them. Missed the game yesterday. He's back in the lineup as Herenstam makes that save in front. And it's knocked down by the captain, Jack Berglund. Moved in by Pettersson, who was ill yesterday. Now a long shot taken by Kasper Justavara goes wide. Moved back in by Cadell. Coming up is Eric Nilsson. Now Justavara knocks that free for Nilsson. Off the bench and moving in is Wilson Bjork. That was knocked away from him. Novotny back into the Swedish zone. 15th time in the last 19 years Sweden had a perfect record in the preliminary round of the tournament. Can they make it into goal? Celine Valenius is knocked down behind the goal. Here's Jiricek, great move by Jiricek, shoots! That missed just wide. Adam Jiricek back with it, winds and fires, that goes off a skate and just wide. Fibiger moves up. Jiricek scored the electrifying overtime winner for the Czechs against Finland. A between the legs beauty. As that's picked up by Bjork. Move back to center ice. As Jiricek plays it across for Fibiger. Racing back is Felix Orkvist. Back around to Bohmenian. Set high in the air and back down to the Czech zone. Fibiger with a bouncing puck. He's got to be careful with that with Frundell bearing in on him. And here is Galvis. Unpicked through 2 NHL drafts. Galvis is getting lots of looks here from the scouts.
He will be property of an NHL team sooner than later, I would imagine.
Racing in is Linus Eriksson. And Mrtka got dumped there by Frundell. Mrtka missed the start of the tournament with an injury. Bohmenian. Top end to Eriksson. That pass misfired. Chias has it back. Wojtek Chias had 2 against Canada in the semifinal game, including the empty netter that put it away.
Sweden willing to go power on power. Frundell's line against Sikras.
Murtka. For Benak, chips that back down as ranging back is William Hawkinson. Hawkinson, 6'4" defenseman, moves it along the boards. Gathered back up. Alphonse Frey. Yenborg plays it back for Frey. Brings it back around. Ivar Stenberg waiting for it. In comes Stenberg. Knocked away from him by Pesanichka. And Benak moves in. He was stymied at the line by Celine Valenius. Corral. For Vigo Bjork. Pesanichka goes back for it. Yenborg stepped into him. Here's Yenborg back with it. Pesanichka steps back into him. Bjork trying to work that fray. Not just man. Plays it along the boards. Hope up to center ice. Novotny was trying to find Tittlebach, and now in comes Novotny. Novotny winds in, waits for help to come off the bench. Novotny, great quiet pass. Fibberger in, shoots. That was blocked by Corral. Novotny back with it. Long wrist shot floats wide. Fibberger on the other side. Corral got a stick on that. An open net look for Fibberger there. Corral, bumped by Hope. And Celine Valenius goes to Yenborg and taps that back to Bjork. Boumedienne. Pivots back. Sasha Boumedienne, the Winnipeg first rounder in the last NHL draft. Rink wide pass for Pettersson. Swings it back down to the Czech zone. Here is Fibberger. Up for Dranchak. And Kubiesa. Crushed there by Berglund. Luka Kranz brings it back for the Swedes. That long shot knocked away by Orszalak. Great pace here in the first period. Jiricek spins away from Pettersson. The puck comes loose to Galvas. Winds that ahead. Now Dranchak moves in. Dranchak up for Galvas, who had jumped up. And then Nestershil, a big hit on Berglund. Loose at center ice for Chihas. Bumps that back to the Czech zone as Murtka goes back. 12 of the Czechs are drafted. Now it's turned over. A kick back to Orszalak. 3 in the first round, including Murtka, who's out there now. Ustavara with it. Feeds that back to Frey. At the point, the long drive. They couldn't find it as the initial shot by Hawkinson was stopped. Galvas for Nestershil. Up for Sikora. And Nestershil plays it back in. Nestershil plays college hockey at UMass. He's one of 17 Czechs who plays in North America. The other 16 play in the CHL. Nilsson drops that back. And Hawkinson up to center ice. Pesanichka. Up for Politin. And Sikora trying to work that fray. Plays it back around to Hawkinson. And away comes Victor Eklund. Winds it across the line, drops it back. Frundell moves in and shoots. That's off a skate. Up and out of play. No score here in the first period. The Swedes come close in the opening minutes.
Pretty tentative start for both teams, being very cautious, but Sweden almost strikes again early in the game off the one face-off. Frundell gets loose from Jiricek, gets a good piece of the puck, but he catches the post, and Fibberger activates it well, and you got to get the pucks off quickly against both these teams because they are committed to blocking shots in front of their goaltenders.
Eriksson for the face-off against Max Curran. Curran plays for Edmonton in the Western League. Wins that face-off back to Mann. Now Eriksson comes racing in. And a quick shot by Eklund turned away. Backhand shot. And Frundell came in. That goes off Curran, up and out.
Frundell, maybe the highest profile Swedish player on their team, 3rd overall to Chicago. And you learn very quickly when you watch him play, one of his great assets is his shot. And he works his positioning to maximize his shooting opportunities. He knows that, his teammates know that, and very quickly the opponents figure that out. Try to take that big one-timer option away.
The rookie of the year last year in Sweden is Allsvenskan, their second league. He helped Djurgården gain promotion of the Swedish Hockey League. Celine Valenius with a shot. Loose in front. Orszalak got a piece of that. Now held at the line by Eklund. Eklund swings it back across. Eriksson a shot. And Orszlak steers that away. Eklund for Eriksson. Celine Valenti's a shot. That was tipped wide by Eklund. Now Corral with a drive. That's gloved by Orszlak. You've seen enough of this.
Sweden not overpassing the offensive zone. Sometimes they can be guilty of working around almost for too long, looking for a perfect opportunity, but not wasting any opportunities here to put the puck in on net, looking for a tip, a rebound, or even a carom, whatever it might be. Just keep forcing pucks on down into Orszlak. And across the board in this tournament, the rebound control for the goalies hasn't been perfect.
Viggo Bjork for the face-off against Samuel Dronchak. Plays for Red Deer in the Western League. Viggo Bjork loses that face-off to Dronchak as Mirka picks it up, looking ahead for Klima. Yuri Klima, not related to Peter Klima. It's the last time I'll say it.
This Yuri Klima is a straightforward physical winger, which is not exactly what.
Almost a steal there by Klima. Now he comes in again. Klima with Dronchak. Dronchak gets a step in the backhand. Shot is stopped by Härenstam.
Good job in the neutral zone, forcing a turnover for Sweden. Dronchak, who emerged as a regular the last few games for Czechia on the fourth line, able to step into this with some pace, drive it wide. And again, if he gets this onto the pads with guys going to the net, perhaps Härenstam drops that out in front with Klima right there, but he swallows it up in his midsection.
One thing the Czechs will want to avoid, as they did against Canada, is the Swedish power play. Sikora up for Chihas. One of the tournament's top point getters at 11 in 6 games. And now Pedersen gets crunched there by Nestrashil. Galvis out to center ice for Chihas. Lead pass for Nestrashil, picked up by Sikora. Sikora moves in. Knocked off the puck by Orkvist. And the stick got up on Stenberg. That's going to be a penalty for
I think it's on Stenberg.
I think they got Stenberg here for holding his stick. And Stenberg, somewhat bewildered, is going to go off.
Stenberg was tied up with Chihas on the back check. He looks legitimately confused as to what is going on. Chihas eventually dropped his stick, and that's what drew the ref's attention. So here's the back check.
Sweden number 15, 2 minutes for holding the stick.
Well, I mean, I can take it out of my... It's inside his mask. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. That's a tough one. Chihas's blade was inside the visor of Stenberg, and he's trying to pull it out of his face. Ooh, tough break for Sweden. Good one for Czechia.
Czechs are 7-25 on the power play. Swedish penalty killing's been good. They've allowed 5 goals on 22 opposition attempts. Kubiesa leads the way with 2 power play goals for the Czechs. Here's Benak. Fires it back down. Here's Nestrashil after it. Leaves it back for Curran. Tied up by Ustavara. Max Curran flips that back to Jiricek. Adam Jiricek centers it. Bouncing puck goes to Curran. To Jiricek. In for Benak. Benak shoots. Whistled that just wide.
Looking for Curran's stick there, the Sedin high tip play.
Politin. Back across to Benak. Walks in. Cross ice. Nestrashil shoots. That was blocked by Boumediene. Comes out the other side. Bjork can't clear it out. Here's Nestrashil. Walks in and fires. He put that short side. Now Benak back with it. Around to Politin. Got it back up by Nestrashil. Nestrashil for Jiricek. For Benak. Fires again, and that's wide. Picked up by Nestrashil. Inside a minute to go on the Czech power play. Nestrashil. Centering pass knocked down by Bjork, and now sent down the ice by Orkvist. And Galvis comes out with the top power play unit for the Czechs. Kubiesa moves that back in, and Corral intercepts that and sends it right back down. 9:45 to go in a scoreless first period. Galvis up at Kubiesa. Bangs that back around. Sikora waiting for it. Sikora Slides it back down. The pass got away from Chihas. Novotny racing to it. Broken up by Eriksson. Bank back. It's picked up by Kubiesa. For Galvis. Plays it back to Kubiesa. Moves in. Shoots. Kicked up by Herrenstad. And to the line, but not out. That was Eriksson didn't clear it. Now it's finally chipped back to center ice. One shot for the Czechs in that power play. Still scoreless here in the first period. Galvis. Dances through center ice. Drops it back to Sikora. Rink wide pass to Klima. And Klima swings it back in deep looking for Tittlebach. Bangs that back to Murka. Slaps it across to Galvis. Has time and shoots. That was blocked in front by Momedian. Galvis fires again. That deflects wide. Orkvist on it. Good pressure now by the Czechs. Orkvist to Pettersson. He banks it back down to the Czech zone. And that's going to be icing on the Swedes, who won't be able to change.
Thomas Galvis has had himself a tournament with 9 points atop the most points by a defenseman list. And the Czechs have had some pretty good defensemen over the years. And amazing for a guy who's undrafted. I make the comparison not just because he's a bit smaller, but the way he moves his body around, it's a lot like Lane Hudson. Stop and start, stutter steps, change of directions, uses his feet's quickness to mitigate any sort of size disadvantage you think he might have.
Has 11 points in 19 games playing for Liberec in the Czech men's league.
It's a big number too.
Kasanichka plays that back in. Tittlebach gets loose in the corner. Bounces back, and Klima couldn't connect there. Now Klima gets it back. Fans on that shot. Another chance. Klima jams away. He's thrown into the net by Orkvist. And loose at center ice. Shots are even at 5 and a scoreless first. Orkvist. Good middle of Berglund. Patrick Berglund, nifty move. Berglund kicks it ahead. Finally poked away from him. And Stenberg has that knocked away. Ivar Stenberg has lived up to his billing as a top pick for the upcoming draft. There's a big hit by Hollantin on Berglund.
And Berglund's a big man to try to get up and over the boards.
Jiricek looks ahead for Benak. That's knocked away by Hutchinson. Back across Frey. Yenberg fan on that pass. Now gathered up by Stenberg. Ivar Stenberg flips it across to Bjork, trying to return pass for Stenberg that was broken up by Benak. Here's Stenberg back with it. Stenberg taken down. No penalty in the wake. Come the Czechs. Polk is knocked off the puck by Celine Valenius. Bjork drops it back. Stenberg works in back for Bjork with a shot blocked in front. Might have saved the goal there. That was Mann who got in the way. That was going right into the empty net. Orsulak had been pulled way out of position. Another timely block. Now winding in is Tittlebach. Oh, great move by Tittlebach, but then poke check there by Carell. And Tittlebach got spun around in the corner as Carell goes after it. Vigo Bjork chips it back out. And the bouncing puck got away from Novotny. Kasanichka swings it back down to the Swedish zone as Boumedienne gathers it back up. Actually, Boumedienne's dad, Josef, played in the NHL parts of 4 seasons. Now Galvis lost the puck as Nilsson tried to center it. Galvis now plays it off the boards to center right to Chihas. Lead pass to Nesterchuk, broke it up as Yustavara got in the way. Now Boumedienne straight out. Is that it is? Boumedienne was trying to flip that ahead, but it goes over the glass and out. And the Czechs will get a power play with 6:16 to go in the first period in a hard-fought gold medal game at the World Junior Hockey Championship. Czechia going to their second power play of the first period as Boumedienne trying to go with a high flip for a racer, a little off kilter on the direction and just sailed it right over top of the penalty boxes. So Czechia goes the attack after this desperation block on what could have been a potential empty netter by Mann, getting his skates in front of Vigo Bjork's opportunity. And the number 1 group for Czechia will start the second power play. Sikora steps in for the faceoff. Wins it back to the point to Galvis. Galvez. Down to Kubiesa to Galvez. Back across to Sikora. Sikora in for Kubiesa. What a chance here for the Czechs. Kubiesa back to Galvez. Kubiesa with Novotny fighting for space in front. Galvez back across to Sikora. Trying to find the stick there of Chihas. That just missed.
For the third time they're trying to find a stick.
Now Sikora winds and shoots. That was blocked by Salim Valenius. And he's barely able to get off the ice.
And that's the option. If they're blocking all your shots, then maybe look for the shot pass instead.
In comes Kubiesa. Brings it back around, and Salim Valenius is in distress on the Swedish bench. Sikora shoots short side, and that save is made by Halmstad. He was leaning, but makes the stop.
He was leaning because I think Sikora was dropping some misinformation. If we check Sikora's eyes, right before that shot, through the bubble he's been wearing, he's not under 18, he had a mouth injury. He's looking across and then zips it, and you can see Halmstad hustling to get back to the short post, and there's, ooh, right off the top of the ankle. Salim Valenius puts his foot in front of that one. Well, gets to the bench, a little help from his friends. That will sting. Just don't take your skate off until after the game.
Second round pick of San Jose is on the bench now as Benak plays that back to pass, misfire for Juracek. A race for it now. Yustafara had it knocked away by Nestershil. Now brought in shorthanded. Berglund moves in. And he had Oshilak down, but he makes the pass. Now back in front, they score! Yustafara on the feed from Berglund. It's a shorthanded goal to give the Swedes the lead. Kasper Yustafara has his second of the tournament.
Right off the face-off turnover, the penalty was coming up there for the slash, and everybody on Czechia stops thinking, okay, this is over with. And Berglund watched Juracek. Everyone just goes the whole goal line, staring at the puck. Nestershil, Benak, you gotta be better. Just hang in front of the net. You got Juracek draped all over Berglund. Why you trace the puck below the goal line when the dangerous guy is standing on the lip of the crease? What an effort by Jack Berglund. The slow motion walk of Juracek, and then staying with it to get it out to Yustafara to open the scoring.
Now referee Janne Verheimo is talking to Swedish coach Magnus Haviland.
I think they just want some clarification on what's going to happen with the delayed penalty, as there was a delayed penalty coming up for the slash there. Yustafara had the stick knocked out of his hands. Wasn't offside or anything like that, but there's 3 checks back, and not one of them is within 8 feet of the guy standing wide open in front.
Berglund leads the tournament in plus minus. The captain of the Swedish team, the son of former NHLer Christian Berglund.
A former teammate of mine, played with him in Sweden when I was playing for Färjestad. He's about 6 inches taller than his dad.
So the Czechs are still in the power play for 50 seconds, but now down 1. And they've allowed the first goal for the 6th time in 7 games. Lost their opener 7-5 to Canada. Reeled off 5 straight wins. Galvez moves in. He's knocked down by Carell. And now Viggo Bjork comes in with Sikora back defending. Bjork almost getting behind him. Viggo Bjork digging for it. Takes down Chihas. 20 seconds to go in the Czech power play. And Galvez plays that rink wide for Chihas. He's got Novotny moving ahead to go the other way to Kubiesa. Kubiesa rings that back around, racing to it. Is Yustafara. Kasper Yustafara Karlsson. Out to center ice, and it's knocked in by Hawkinson.
Both teams are playing at full strength.
Teams are back to 5-on-5. Just 1 shot for the Czechs in that power play. And they allow the shorthanded goal. Nurka through center ice, chipped ahead by Tittlebach. Now, Salim Valenius' stick blew up on him. In comes Kleba. His shot knocked to the corner by Carell. Salim Valenius still no stick. As that shot drifts to the corner, Carell back with it. And Salim Valenius looking at the stick from the Swedish bench. It's played back down to the Czech zone. Icing called against the Swedes.
Sweden recognizing that maybe Salim Valenius was in trouble, so icing it's okay. Let him get his stick and get settled. As Yustafara has given a short-handed 1-0 lead to his Swedish team.
Draft eligible, just 5'9", 168. Plays for Luleå in the Swedish league.
He's a little buzzsaw. Very good skater.
Chihas wins the face-off. Poloteam with a shot that's blocked. Check Curran with a face-off win. Now Carell back with it. And Carell skates away from Curran. Looks ahead to Pettersson. Pettersson winds in. Rink wide pass was in behind Danielson. Liam Danielson plays it back around. Fibberger's pass is knocked back out to center ice. Here's Carell with it. Picked back up by Berglund. Swings that rink wide for Yenborg. Shot goes wide. Pettersson back on it. Curran bumps that back around. Here's Yenborg racing to it. Plays that back and skip over the stick of Orkvist. The Swedes have the tag back up. Here's Fibberger with it. Back up Fibberger, one of the 16 CHL players. He plays for Brampton in the OHL. In comes Klima. He's stripped. Nifty move by Stenberg to flip that ahead. Stenberg, he was taken down. Klima back the other way, along with Kubiesa. And Klima falls. Kubiesa tried to center it. That was blocked by Boumediene. Knocked down by Dranchak in behind the goal. As Klima tried to work that free, it's picked up by Bjork. Vigo Bjork, that pass is picked up by Jiricek. Shoots, turns down, save, rebound. 2 Czechs skated by it. And now Boumediene breaks it back out for the Swedes. Up for Bjork. Vigo Bjork drops it back to Yenborg. That's knocked away by Klima. Kubiesa. Plays it ahead for Klima. Dranchak moves it in. Bouncing puck in front, got away from Dranchak. And here's Klima bringing it back around. Stepping up is Mirka. Now, sent flying was Eriksson. The puck loose at center ice. Hawkinson. Back around to Frey. 1:45 to go here in the first. Hawkinson drops it off to Eklund. Shoots, put that high. Frey slams it back around. Racing to it is Frundell. Anton Frundell got spun around. And Frundell from a sharp angle stopped there by Orszalak. Eriksson. And now Frey a long shot. It got through. Rebound. Eklund with a shot. Orszalak a point blank save on that. Eklund back with it. Feeds it back to Frey. Hawkinson to Frey. The shot deflected in front. Knocked the stick out of the hands of Tittleback. Here's Frundell back on it. Good pressure now by the Swedes. Eriksson pokes that free for the moment. Played back in for Frundell. Shields off the final minute out of the period. Back at the point is Frey with a shot. And that's off Hunk. Up and out of play. 1-0 Sweden leads on the shorthanded goal by Kasper Justavara in the gold medal game of the 2026 World Junior Hockey Championship. Scan the QR promo code on screen to get Crave starting at $3.99 a month for your first 3 months, and then stream the latest blockbusters, Canadian Crave originals, and hit series all in one place on Crave. Swedes are gold medal winners in 2012 in Calgary. They beat the Russians 1-0 in overtime on a goal by Mika Zibanejad. The shots after 2 were 39-4 for the Swedes. After regulation, 50-16.
And they still had to go to overtime to get it. They've been good in this first period. Look at how they've played so far.
And I remember thinking that night, if they don't win this one, they're never going to. Celine Valenius back down to Eriksson, picked up by Frundell. Frundell centers it. And Nestrashil chips that neatly for Chihas. Czechs break it out as Chihas works in. And Carell broke up that centering pass. Celine Valenius back up there after blocking that shot earlier. Takes a bump there from Chihas. Picked up by Nestrashil. Trying to find Sikora in front. Frundell had the puck on his skates. Sikora sent flying. Jiricek a long shot. Hit a leg in front. Knocked away by Harrenstown. And Frundell chips that back down to the Czech zone. And the puck dies before the end line. And that'll do it for the opening period. The Swedes get the shorthanded goal from Kasper Justavara. And they will go to the dressing room up 1 after 20 minutes of the gold medal game at the 50th World Junior Hockey Championship.
Because he's racing and pacing and plotting the course. He's 2026 IIHF World Junior Championship on TSN is brought to you in part by TELUS, now offering 5-year plan price lock on select mobility and internet plans. By ESSO. From the ESSO Medals program to representing Team Canada, ESSO is dedicated to Canada's game. And by Tim Hortons, proudly supporting over 100,000 Timbits hockey players in Canada.
Your first intermission from St. Paul, the shorthanded goal, the difference in this one for Sweden. Here's Czech forward Peter Sikora with Kenzie Lalonde.
Well, Peter, very tight, close first period. How would you describe it?
Yeah, we must be better in our pace and be more aggressive.
Sweden's a team that comes in layers, so how do you generate more scoring chances throughout this game?
Yeah, it's not easy. We must play our game and get into the chances.
Think of the last time Czechia won gold at this tournament. A lot of you guys weren't even born yet, so what would it mean to win gold here tonight?
Yeah, it's incredible, and yeah, we must get better the next 2 periods.
Best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
James Duthie back with Cheryl Pounder, Frankie Corrado, and Craig Button. We're so used to these wild, wide-open Canadian games that are all 3-2 after one. It's almost strange to watch a pretty tight, defensive, crisply played gold medal period, except for one glaring mistake.
Well, it's such a tight period. It's so competitive, but the one mistake, it really stands out. And really what happens to the Czechs is they compound mistakes. So here's the first mistake that's going to happen. Jiricek's going to get a little too antsy. Well, now he can't take that pass. Mistake number 1, Nestrasil, there's a slash over the stick of Ustavara. Mistake number 2, and then all 4 forwards coming back to the front of the net. Jiricek's the only defenseman. No one picks up Ustavara, who got his stick knocked out of his hands, picks it up and scores the goal. So 3 mistakes in a period where we didn't see a lot of mistakes, but it leads to the goal.
2 power play opportunities for the Czechs in that period. They had 1 shot on each of them, give up their shorthanded goal. And let's go back to the semifinal game. Late in the overtime, they had to kill a penalty. Penalty killing coming up large for Sweden here in the last 2 periods.
We're going to spend a couple minutes in our next segment talking about Canada and what went wrong in this tournament, what's gone wrong in the next 3 years. One of the things when you watch both these defensive units on Czechia and Sweden are much tighter than Canada's was the entire tournament.
Absolutely, and we were talking about it in the pregame, just how mobile this defense core is. And I'm looking straight at Celine Wallenius. I mean, you have to have that first puck touch, and what you do with it is so critical. Well, his exits have been magic. I mean, they're simple, they're effective. He knows how to get shots through on the blue line, playing 8:49, the most of anyone on his team. Look at the stand-up. We talk about his skating, the ability to hold the blue line, and then, of course, a critical block shot, as you had mentioned on the PK, Craig, how pivotal it is, not only to anticipate because he's got that IQ, but I mean, he plays a ton of minutes because of it.
All right, as promised, when we return, highlights from Canada's bronze medal bounce back this afternoon against Finland, and we'll do a little autopsy on what happened. The shorthanded goal, the difference so far in this one. We're through 1 in the gold medal game of the World Juniors. Just 16 hours after the heartbreak of that loss to Czechia, Canada, Finland, bronze medal game. Canada looking for its first medal since 2023 after those 2 quarterfinal exits. Early for Michael Hage. What a tournament for him. To Sam O'Reilly, who gets bumped up to that line with Brady Martin out. It's 1-0 Canada. Now tied at 1. Keaton Verhoff finds Braden Coots, and the Canadians are back in front. 2-1, still in the first. Now tied at 2. This is kind of the way this tournament's gone. These wild back and forth games. Zane Parekh ties the Canadian record for most points by a defenseman with 12. It's 3-2 Canada. Second period, T.J. Ginla to Porter Martone, who quietly leads the tournament in goals with 6. Parekh picks up an assist. That's the new record with 13 points. 4-2 Canada, still in the second. Gavin McKenna, he had a day. Great slap pass to O'Reilly. The Canadian power play was just lethal the entire tournament. Second of the game for O'Reilly, 5-2 Canada. To the third, Page will be stopped, but McKenna buries the rebound. Canada wins 6-3. McKenna 4 points as they pick up their first medal since Halifax. A bittersweet bronze to end their World Juniors.
It was definitely a tough turnaround from yesterday. You know, it's always tough when you lose in heartbreak fashion like that, but I'm proud of the group, how we regrouped, and came in and got a bronze medal today.
Obviously, this is a really tough game to get up for. You know, that loss last night, it's tough, but for our group to get up, I'm obviously really proud of it. I thought we played hard. You know, we wanted to go home with some hardware, so it was good for us.
When Canada does not win gold at the World Juniors, particularly 3 years in a row, we become this nation of experts analyzing the team, the selection process, the entire minor hockey system in Canada. What should be the proper way to look at this finish and 3 straight losses to Czechia?
That the margins are really close between Canada and all the other countries, and we've always had this feeling that Canada is above and beyond and superior, but it's just not the case anymore. Look what the history lesson tells us. Canada wins a couple gold medals in a row where it's a McTavish save and then Bedard heroics and a Gunther golden goal, and then you follow it up with heartbreak late in games against good teams. It just goes to show you that you can lose just as easily as you can win right now, and that's what I take away from this. And you also have to remember there's some supremely talented players that are not playing for Canada because they're not available, so it's just the margins are so close right now.
And they are, and we know they wanted to come in here to win the gold. I think they needed to leave with the bronze. There was too much hanging over the head of this Hockey Canada junior program. Remember, they hired a full-time GM. They thought they had the right coach, and I think Dale Hunter was the right coach. But the bottom line is, he didn't want to go into Edmonton with no medals in the past 3 years, and the team that goes into Edmonton didn't need that to carry that into the tournament. I think them winning this bronze medal was a necessary medal for this program.
And it'll be interesting to see whether it aligns more balance in terms of defensive structure, right? I mean, you have that opening game against Czechia, and you're able to win 7-5. You've got to learn something from that track meet to be able to shut teams down and hold the defense. And I think that's fundamentally something that has to be worked on collectively as a group, because if you want to shut down and win the close games, you can't be giving up the most goals in the tournament that you've given up since 1995.
It's just crazy. They had not nearly enough offense last year. A lot of criticism. They didn't get nearly enough defense.
Balance.
I remember Craig telling me years ago the 2006-2007 class was so good. Maybe they were too good, at least some of them, because without Celebrini and Schaefer and Seneca and Kindle and Dickinson, who the guy, you know, maybe if they get 1 or 2 of those guys, we're not having this conversation right now. We're having a conversation about Canada in the gold medal game. Not an excuse, just based on reality, but certainly some issues for Canada as they head towards Edmonton next year. PWHL action, Seattle and Boston, Wednesday, 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 Pacific on TSN. Terrific first period of the gold medal game. The Swedes lead on that shorthanded goal. Gordon Mike with the second right after this.
The 2026 IIHF World Junior Championship on TSN is brought to you in part by Wegovy. Visit wegovy.ca for savings. Some exclusions may apply.
A big momentum swing in that opening period. The Czechs were on their second power play, but Jack Berglund set up Kasper Justavara for the first short-handed goal scored by the Swedes in the tournament, the first allowed by the Czechs. 1-0 Sweden leads after 20 minutes. Gord Miller back with Mike Johnson, and the Swedes tonight are doing to the Czechs what Canada couldn't in the semis.
And that is corral the forecheck and physicality and energy of Czechia, and done a great job of diffusing what Czechia does so well, which is getting you running around and putting you under pressure. And you know, it comes with individual talent. So you see the ability to skate and defend, physically strong in battles, great communication from the defensemen and the forwards together, and also a willingness to block shots. There were several blocks by Sweden on potential good opportunities, and just these extended zone times or pucks in dangerous spots, they just never really happen for Czechia. They don't really generate too much equality, and that is exactly how Sweden wants to play. Now the question is, Czechia, you expect to be better in the second. Can Sweden do the same again in this period?
And again, the Czechs are used to trailing early. They've allowed the first goal in 6 of their 7 games. Swedes are an inconceivable 1-8 in gold medal games since this format began. Frundell works it and shoots, just missed wide. Almost another early goal for the Swedes in this tournament. Here is Corral. We mentioned the Swedes. 1 gold medal the last 44 years. Second 11 times in that span. Brought in now by Seeker with a shot. Stopped by Herenstam. Poke back around by Nestor. Shield picked out by Chihas, and now Herenstam Takes out with Sikora lurking dangerously, and once again, Peter Sikora is in the middle of things.
There's a Frundell almost scored in the opening minutes of period 1. Hit the post on a tip, and a little chip and go around Juracek sends him in alone. And that kind of shot, that is an absolute threat. And it just catches the arm. It was such a subtle touch, it was hard to even see. But Orszalak gets just a piece, just enough.
Max Kern for the face-off for the Czechs against Viggo Bjork, and that's won by the Swedes.
Chalk it up. Swedes were 62% on face-offs in the first as well. An area where Czechia is usually very good.
Stenberg up at Jenberg. And back goes Merka for it, but Stenberg gets there first. Ivar Stenberg centers it. Bjork with a chance. Jam plays side to go. Orszalak gets the pad down. Another close chance for the Swedes in the opening minute. And Boumediene goes back to pick it up. Sasha Boumediene flies through center ice. Boumediene drops that back to Stenberg, wheels that back in deep for Jenborg. And here's Bjork. Viggo Bjork gets loose. Centers it. Stenberg off the goalpost. And Bjork plays it back in. And the chance is piling up for the Swedes here in the second period. To the line, that's chipped past the Swedish defender Alphonse Frey, but racing back is Hankenstam. Hawkinson rather knocks that down. Icing called against the Czechs.
You're right. Swedes come out to play aggressively, creating some opportunities off the forecheck, winning puck battles, getting the puck off the wall, and then Bjork right to the front of the net. Jenborg almost for the rebound. That is really well done by Orszalak to fight that all the way with his foot. So well done, and then Stenberg off the short side. That one had Orszalak leaning the wrong way. And Sweden has taken advantage of Juracek a couple times with quickness, getting to the spots a little bit ahead of the big Czechian defenseman.
Berglund wins the face-off forward, trying to play that back, now gathers it back up. Berglund in the corner with it. Berglund still on it, power move, puts that right through the crease. Out to center ice, Novotny taken down by Krantz. Here's Celine Valenius. Winds in, shoots, pad saved by Orszalak. That's center ice, turned over to Frundell. Got it back up by Celine Valenius. Boumediene to center ice. Ustavara chips it. That's just batted back out by Hook. Now the play called. Puck goes into the Czech bench. Well, these two teams have long histories in this tournament. 2 gold medals each, and the Czech count for the medals includes Czechoslovakia, the split happening in 1993. The Swedes, the 2 gold medals, one in 1981. That was before the playoff round. It was a straight round robin. Then again in 2012. The Czechs won their 2 gold medals in 2000 and 2001 when Czechia was the unquestioned king of men's hockey, the reigning Olympic men's champion, the 3-time world champions, and the 2-time world junior champions.
They beat us in the Worlds back in 2001 to complete that trio of wins.
Putting in shooting is Linus Eriksson. That bounces away. Now get it back up by Frundell. And Frundell had to roll off his stick. Frundell plays it back around for Eklund. He's knocked off the puck by Galvis. Eriksson to it. Feeds that back to Boumediene. Boumediene shot tipped wide of the goal by Frundell. Galvis. Out to center ice. Orkvist knocks that down, and here is Boumediene. Missed there by Kubiesa. Now Frundell back with it to Orkvist. Lead pass up for Eriksson, and Orkvist has to gather it back up. Frundell has that skipped by him, and icing called against the Swedes. We talked about the history of these two countries in this tournament more recently, since 2022. top 4 finishes.
So they're always there. They just haven't been able to get the big one. Sweden specifically has always been there through the round robin the last 10 years. But we shouldn't be surprised that they're in this game.
Czechs will, regardless of the outcome of this game, have a medal for the 4th consecutive years. It's the 2nd time they've done it in their history. You got to go back to the mid-1980s. This is the last time they did that. And here is Nestrashil. Marcus knocked that away. Here's Bjork on it. Fibiger. Back around to Jiricek. Nestrashil. For Sikora shoots. And a save made by Harenstam. Rebound cleared back down the ice. Going back is Fibiger. He's got Nilsson closing quickly. And the puck wouldn't cooperate by crossing the line soon enough for him. Jiricek. Up ahead to Chihas, looking for Sikora. That's knocked away by Eric Nilsson, Anaheim 2nd round pick. Ustavara drops it back to Wilson Bjork. He's knocked down by Politin. And Sikora brings it back in. Brings that back around. And here's Bjork with it. Wilson Bjork will be at Colorado College. Chips out ahead. Move back down to the Czech zone. Orszlak. Up on the boards for Politin. Knocked off the puck by Yenborg. Vigo Bjork. Squeezed there by Mertka. Stays on it. Bjork spins back. Slides that back to Salim Milenius with a shot that goes off the skate and wide. Waiting for it is Curran. Rolling puck that's held by Yenborg, who plays it back in. And Mertka's back to pick it up. Stenberg stepped into him. Stenberg wins that physical battle. Now Vigo Bjork on it. Hahn took that away. Salim Milenius. Pass ahead to Yenborg. His shot was blocked. Benak has it back for the Czechs. Flips out ahead for Curran. That's knocked down at center ice. Momedian for Stenberg. Stenberg winds in. Still on it. Backhand shot was blocked by Curran. He's got Benak moving ahead. Adam Benak. One of the 3 Czech players who plays for Brampton in the Ontario League. And that knocked off his stick. Yenborg. Skipping puck knocked out by Orszlak. Picked back up by Galvis. Lead pass to Tittleback. Galvis got crunched there by guess who? Berglund, the captain. In comes Tittleback with a shot off Carell. That goes over the glass and out.
Czechia is still trying to find their stride. They're trying to get engaged physically whenever they can. Politin has been a chippy player and a good one for Czechia. Step into Hackenson. But you got to get the puck when you stop them, and that's what Sweden's been really good at. They are winning. That's a great stick battle. But they're winning races. They're taking the time and space away from Czechia, not by running them over, but by getting to their hands and skating through the arms and then using their feet to get out of there. And it has just stifled any sort of pace that Czechia is trying to create, getting out of their own end and through the neutral zone. A really impressive defensive display for Sweden so far.
Galvis steps up. Galvis swings that back. Pesanichka, the shot blocked by Pettersson. Lucas Pettersson, also an Anaheim 2nd rounder. Takes that lead pass and chips it ahead for Liam Danielson. Here's Galvis on. He falls in the corner. Pettersson peels back in the corner, shovels that back. That pass is picked up by Tittleback. Crisscrossing with Novotny. In comes Novotny. Looks for the trailer now, spins and shoots and fires that wide. Pesanichka steps up. Max Pesanichka. Swings it back for Tittleback. That's picked up by Carell. Picked back up by Galvis. Carell got slammed to the sideboards by Hook. And now Jiricek has it back. Through the middle to Hook, who chips that down to the Swedish zone. Harenstam sweeps out around Carell. That pass is picked up by Novotny. Klima steps on. The Swedes are hauling with a potential too many men. Now a bouncing puck picked up in front by Klima. Klima shoots. And then Drychuk got a stick on that, but it bounces wide. Back at the point. Jiricek a drive. And Eriksson gathers up the loose puck. Eklund on it. Pokes that back to center ice. It's wristed back in by Sikora. Salim Milenius That pass is picked up by Jiricek. Jiricek works in, shoots at the goal post. Jiricek with a steal and very nearly the equalizer. Jiricek sweeps it ahead, chipped back in by Dranchak. Kubiesa goes after it. Taken out by Celine Melonius. Eriksson stymied there by Klima. Now Klima gathers it back up. Yuri Klima feeds it back. Mirka has a look. For Klima with a shot. Glove save made by Aronstam. Czechs applying the pressure here in the second period. Adam Jiricek comes this close to tying the game at 1.
Maybe the best push of the game so far for Czechia on Aronstam, and he had to be really good. Jiricek, we know how well he can shoot it. Backs it up, gets an open lane, and beats Aronstam blocker side. And then after a couple more turnovers, an athletic slide and catch for Aronstam to finally get a whistle, get his guys off the ice, and get himself a breather with a nice little headrest as well.
Like a hammock.
When you think about the top goalie in this tournament, it seems like it's certainly got to be Aronstam.
He's gone the distance for the Swedes so far in the tournament. Now stolen by
a little board here on Chihash.
Yeah, penalty coming to the Czechs as York pulled that free. Yenborg, rink wide pass to Stenberg, and now Aronstam makes his way to the Swedish bench for the extra skater. And on comes Berglund. Here's Boumedian with it. 6-on-5 now for the Swedes with the penalty coming. Boumedian up for Stenberg. To Berglund, pivots at the line. Swedes at rink wide for Orquist, but it's finally broken up there by Nestershil. And with 11:29 to go in the second period, Chihas will go off, and the Swedes will go to the power play.
A bump on Stenberg from behind from Chihas. Presents the back. Oh boy.
15 Team Czechia, minor penalty, cross-checking.
Cross-check up top, driving the face into the glass. Stenberg's had a tough go. It was Chihas's stick, who was earlier in the game caught inside Stenberg's mask, even though Stenberg ended up getting the penalty, and now it's Chihas again. And Stenberg with a little cross-check from behind.
Swedes had a power play coming when they scored their shorthanded goal.
PK hasn't been great for Czechia.
They've allowed 6 goals on 19 attempts. Here's Frey with it. Frey back across to Stenberg. Picked up by Eklund, back for Stenberg. Stenberg shoots, missed just wide. Swedes are 9 for 22 on the power play. Frondell leads the way with 3 goals on the man advantage. Yenborg has 2.
Take away Frondell like they are, then it's got to be Stenberg and Eklund attacking it from the left side.
And he has a spot, does Frondell. Moves to it right now. Berglund looks back around. Here's Frondell. Back to Frey. Frey to Stenberg. Back across Frondell. Shoots. Great stop there by Orsolak. Now Stenberg drops that back to Frey. Back to Stenberg. Waits and shoots. That's blocked as well. Rebound. Somebody go. They score. Victor Eklund. Power play goal. And the Swedes have a 2-0 lead. Victor Eklund, the Islander first rounder.
Lots of chances. A great seam pass earlier, and then a broken play. And we talked about getting to the left side of the ice. It's Stenberg, it's Berglund, it's Eklund. How about Berglund? Such a smart poke to get it over to Eklund. Makes no mistake. And there is David Stenberg. Dad of Ivar celebrating. It's been a busy couple weeks for him.
Yeah, older brother Otto is up with St. Louis, so David's been commuting back and forth between
St. Louis and Minnesota's not too far.
But Victor Eklund, a family affair as well as older brother William, 7th overall to San Jose in 2021. That's a huge goal for the Swedes. A power play goal, a shorthanded marker, and a 2-0 lead.
Thought they might have escaped it when Frondell didn't get all of that one-timer. Looked like that was his spot, but stayed with it. And Jack Berglund, the captain, is in the middle of everything for Sweden so far in this game.
Now back at the line. Galvis, a shot that goes wide. Here's Galvis racing to it. Galvis back across. Pesanichka for Klima, a shot that goes off a leg and wide. Not a lot gets through on the Swedes. Galvis taken down there by Nilsson. Galvis. Puck bounce high in the air. Carell looking for it. And Nilsson on the second try plays it back across to Celine Melenius. Lines back out. Celine Melenius will now spin back. And away comes Eklund. Eklund drops it back to Frundell. Eklund centers it, just missed Eriksson with that pass. And Boumediene back for it. Now played to Frundell. Eriksson back on it. Eriksson pivots back. Centering pass knocked down by Eklund. Spins and shoots, put that wide. Back at the point of Boumediene. He winds and fires. Bouncing puck loose in front, knocked down by Galvis. Frundell knocked that free. Orquist has it back for the Swedes. Orquist shoots. That was blocked in front by Chihas. And played back in by Eklund. Frundell falls, but got it back up by Bjork. Viggo Bjork winds in. Bjork. Wrap around try. Orschlag save. Rebound loose in front. Yenborg turned away.
Yenborg tried to kick that one in.
Chihas looks for Hook.
Bench, outside.
And the play is called as the puck goes into the Czech bench. Victor Eklund has the Swedes ahead by 2 here in the second period at the World Junior Hockey Championship.
William Eklund, the most recent goal scorer for Sweden. Dad upstairs, watching this one carefully, as he'll appreciate the good work. Take what the penalty kill gives you. If you have a shooter that is such a singular focus like Frundell, then the other guy should have more room available to them. And even though it's a broken play, it's lots of space for Berglund and Eklund and Stenberg to go to work and extend Sweden's lead to 2-0.
Orkvist plays that back to Boumediene. Boumediene moves it and shoots. This game being watched by millions in the middle of the night in Sweden, where this tournament is immensely popular, as it is in Czechia, Finland, and elsewhere in Europe.
They're liking what they're seeing so far.
Swedes were the host country 2 years ago, lost the gold medal game on home ice to the U.S. As Yenborg picks it up, looks ahead for Viggo Bjork. Moves it on Merka, shoots, and Orschlag knocks that away. Merka was taken down by Bjork. He was set for Stenberg, and the pass just missed Bjork. Yenborg jumps up on it. Knocked down by Bjork. Yenborg taken in by Merka. And Novotny bats it back down to the Swedish zone as Frey goes back, being trailed there by Tittelbach. Off the bench comes Curran for Tittelbach. Swings it back in deep for Curran. Max Curran. That's a takeaway by Berglund.
That's got to be interference. It's got to be.
Yeah, and it is going to be on Luka Krantz. As
he hits everything that moves out there, except
he dumped Benak along the boards, but the puck wasn't there, and so the Czechs get the power play with 7:20 to go here in the second period.
Sweden number 22, 2 minutes interference.
Benak's going for it, and Krantz, there's this pick, and then there's a hit. That was a hit. Absolutely. Look, it clears out Benak, and Berglund's out of the zone. So a real opportunity here. Now, it was on the power play for Czechia when Sweden opened the scoring in the first period on a shorthanded goal by Ustovara. Czechia could really use a momentum-building power play.
They're 0 for 2 with 2 shots and a shorthanded goal against. Kubiesa leads the way with 2 power play goals. He's out there now. Chihas shoots. That was blocked by Orkvist. Chihas again. Galvis back across. Kubiesa unloads, and sprawling in front of that was Eklund, and the puck goes up and out.
Blocks on blocks. That was an awkward spacing one for Eklund. First one gets over to Chias right away. Orquist, you got to square up, and he does. He gets wide and low. And then this one, Breck, look how far away he is. That one's get past him, and then Boumediene, the second layer of the block, takes it in the thigh area.
Swedes had 7 blocks in the first period.
And Nicholas Grossman, you see the coach talking on the bench. Big, rugged defenseman in the NHL.
Now Galvas' shot is blocked again. Knocked down by Chias. Feeds it back to Galvas. Galvas to Chias, shoots. That's blocked. Rebound. Sikora has it blocked. Here's Chias back with it. Back for Sikora. Now Sikora takes the return pass from Novotny. Back to Galvas. Kubiesa shoots. He hammered that wide. The puck comes out. That was Galvas. Up-headed Chias. Played off the boards by Bjork and back down the ice. Orsolak or Sikora. The Swedes changing. Sikora looks ahead for Curran. Max Curran lost the puck, sent back down the ice by Wilson Bjork. Picked back up by Kubiesa for Curran. Max Curran trying to set it. That pass was blocked by Corral. Racing to it is Benak. Looks down for Curran. It was over his head. Corral off the glass and back down. 40 seconds to go in the Czech power play. 6 to go in the second period. Benak fires it back in. Nestershil after it. Picked up by Corral. Felix Corral pivots back, drops that back, and Nestershil has it back for Benak. Rink wide for Politin. Time winding down on the power play. Politin back with it, trying to drop that back. Eklund kicks it to the line, but not out. Jiricek for Politin. Nestershil to Curran. Final seconds of the power play. Jiricek walks it in, shoots, and that's blocked by Eklund. That was the story of that power play as Kran steps back on. No shots on goal, but a half a dozen blocks for the Swedes. Now Jiricek back on it. Trying to knock that back around. Kranz had lost his stick. Yenberg buying some time to get a line change completed. Inside 5 to go in the second period. Nestershil. Pass knocked down by Bjork. Hawkinson moves in. Hawkinson brings it back around to Corral. Shoots. Kicked up by Orsolak. Curran on it. Ties up to Yenberg. Now Yenberg knocks it down. Yenberg for Stenberg. Shipped that wide. Nestershil pokes out ahead, but gathered back up by Bjork. Out to center ice. In comes Stenberg. Ivar Stenberg winds it and shoots. Orsolak glove save, and he'll hang on to that. 4:17 to go in the second period. Sweden's got a 2-0 lead on Czechia in the gold medal game at St.
Hey, what some serious road trips for Seattle and Vancouver. We got the frost here, but then everything else.
That's the frost, not the freeze. Thank you.
On the East Coast.
Shots are 21-10 in favor of Sweden. A 2-0 lead. Now Frundell pulls his way in. Celine Valius shoots. The Czech net is off. This has been a display of clinical hockey by the Swedes.
If you were to sit down before the game started to Sweden and they're for Marcus Havlitz or Magnus Havlitz and say, how do we want to play today? It would look exactly like this. Now you'd like to finish a chance and maybe have another goal or so, but as far as away from the puck and initiating all the contact, never retaliating, getting in there first, possessing it, battling for it, all of it, it's been so impressive by Sweden. But as we've seen in this tournament,
It's a shot of the post.
They want fewer posts and more in.
Right.
That's Celine Wallenius off a face-off. But we see in this tournament it can turn quickly, like it almost does here off the bar. Wallenius.
Welcome those of you who are watching on TSN 1 and 3. The Raptors beat the Atlanta Hawks here in St. Paul, Minnesota. It's the gold medal game of the 2026 World Junior Championship. Sweden ahead of Czechia by a count of 2-0, the first ever gold medal game featuring these two, and even including the round-robin years in this tournament, these two teams have never finished first and second in a World Junior Championship. Curran knocked down by Frundell, and Curran quickly got his back up. Now headed to Novotny. Gets a step on Celine Valenius. Novotny shoots. Takes a look back, but he's got it. And the first good chance in a while for the Czechs.
And Novotny, tonight's game, even though he hasn't been that busy, feeling the puck dribbling through him, making sure it doesn't trickle in behind. Czechia just has to find more of that speed through the neutral zone.
Bergman wins the face-off back to Boumediene. Jack Bergman, a 19-year-old captain of the Swedish team, is a second-round pick of Philadelphia. They've got a half dozen prospects playing in this World Junior. The President Keith Jones, GM Danny Briere, Director of Player Personnel Brett Clare, all here this week. Now Pedersen has it taken away by Sikora. Banks it back down to the Swedish zone. The Czech looking for a spark here late in the period. Pedersen had the first pass knocked down. Now feeds it back across to Berglund. Picked up by Pedersen. Chia steps into him. And now Sikora back with it. Picked up by Bjork. Swedes chose to play Canada twice in the pre-tournament. Their coach Magnus Havlin said we wanted a tougher test in the pre-tournament. They wanted to have hard games before the tournament started. Laid back across. Valenius with a shot that goes wide. They opened with a couple of so-so performances. They beat Slovakia 3-2. Switzerland 4-2 with an empty netter. And then sort of pull away, beat Germany 8-1. USA 6-3. And there's Stenberg with a chance turned away. But then in the semifinal, the 8-round shootout against Finland. Stenberg walks in, fires, he put that high. Eriksson back with it. Now Eriksson walks onto the corner, he shoots. Orsolak save, and Orsolak pounced on the rebound from a Linus Eriksson shot.
Sweden is wearing Czechia down, not with their physical play, but with their speed and checking. And Czechia just can't get the puck back. 30, 40 seconds in the offensive zone, cycling it, making them chase, which is exhausting physically for Czechia, but also mentally. Chin strap undone, huffing and puffing, visor popped up, because you never get the puck. You never get the juice that comes with playing with it. That's how it feels right now for Czechia.
Face off, one back by Eriksson to Boumediene. The puck comes free at center ice. Boumediene up for Frundell. Looking for Eklund. That pass knocked away. Hoek's got it back for the Czechs. Trying to find Nestrashil. And Nestrashil centers it. Knocked away by Eriksson. Eriksson. Chips it to Orkvist. Off the glass and back down to the Czech zone. Vesanichka up ahead. Pass knocked down. Poitier was looking for the tip there, just missed it. And now Galvis back on it. Celine Valenius looks ahead. The pass is picked up by Pesanichka. Moves it across the line, but they're going to tag back up. Luka Krantz. Back to Boumediene. Lead pass to Krantz. Kicks that ahead. Luka Krantz shoots. Orsolak save. Rebound. Orsolak down. Got it back up by Galvis. And the final minute now, the second period.
1 minute left in the second period.
Back goes Klima for it. And across to Pesanichka. That pass chipped down and knocked down by Corral. Out to center ice. Pesanichka. Pass was blocked by Berglund. Granchak has Ustavara all over him. And Ustavara knocked that down. Out to center ice, Kubiesa. Spins and fires and hit Granchak in the back. And Viggo Bjork plays it back to center ice. Drops down on the feet of Yenborg. And Kubiesa has it back. Mirtka to Kubiesa, chips it back down, icing waved off as Carell goes back. He trailed there by Secret, now picked up by Kubiesa. Kubiesa loose in the corner. Time winding down in the period. He's tied up, centers it. They can't get a shot away. And the Swedes will go to the dressing room with a 2-0 lead after 40 minutes in the gold medal game of the 2026 World Junior Hockey Championship in St. Paul, Minnesota.
But here you are with your faith and your feet and advice. You have no scars on your face and you cannot handle pressure.
Power play goal by Victor Eklund, the 16th overall pick of the Islanders last spring. Future teammate of Matthew Schaefer has Sweden 20 minutes from goal. He's with Kenzie.
Victor, special teams, the difference maker, power play and shorthanded goal for your team. What are you liking about your team's play right now?
No, we're playing super mature, I think. I feel like we worked them down. So yeah, we just need to keep going and hopefully get a dub.
Your goal, the insurance marker for your team, you know, 7 points in 7 games at this tournament. How are you making the most of your time here on this stage?
Yeah, honestly, I'm just having a lot of fun. That's the key. Playing hockey with my best friends. Yeah, it's an unbelievable moment, and the last time we play here. So yeah, you just gotta enjoy it and give it your all.
Saw your dad in the stands, some friends and family here. What does it mean to you to be playing for gold in front of friends and family?
It feels everything. Family is everything. I know that my mom, my brothers are watching from home. Yeah, I'm just super happy and they're super supportive, and I also have my little brother here who's cheering me on.
Okay, have fun.
Thank you.
Awesome to hear. There is Cheryl, there's Frankie, there is Craig. We're going to talk about Gavin McKenna and kind of a weird tournament for him in our next segment, but it's gotten closer for the first overall pick next June, and one of the guys definitively in the running is Ivar Stenberg. Did we get pure evidence of that on the power play?
He controls this entire power play, and right now special teams is the difference on the score sheet, although Sweden's the better team in all facets of this game. But watch how Ivar Stenberg controls this power play from start to finish. So here he is, he gets the puck, a great cross seam pass. It looks dangerous, it's threatening. Now he's gonna threaten again, no problem. Behind the back pass, it doesn't work, but he gets it, and he's in attack mode this whole time. There's the shot, and eventually it leads to the goal for Victor Edlund. So Ivar Stenberg is maybe usually a defenseman. Quarterback's the power play, but for me, that's a forward running quarterback there, and he makes that power play looks dangerous.
You could hear from here Canadians screaming at their televisions last night as the Czech forecheck decimated Canada over and over. Probably the reason they won the game last night. So how has Sweden completely neutralized it?
Well, two things. Positional discipline. When you're in the right position, you're not chasing to go get a puck. You're in the right position, and now they're quick and they're fast, but everybody's in position. Look, outlet, you move the puck, you go tape to tape. So how is a team going to be able to forecheck? Again, win the puck, you see Orquist quick to the position, everybody's now ready for a pass, out you come. This has been the story of this game. Czechia has not had any offensive zone time except for a few times when Sweden's fumbled the puck. Other than that, they can't come close to getting on the Swedish group in their defensive zone.
That first puck touch is absolutely everything, what they've done with it, reading what they're given, whether you saw the rim there that you marked and then the weak side pass, no matter what they're getting, they're able to get out, and then they're starting in great spots. They're also in great spots on the PK. I mean, they went 3 for 3, and how difficult it is against this Czechia team when they've got shooters and a back end, whether it's Galvis or Juracek, but it's blocking those shots. That isn't just by habit, that's by anticipation. Being converged in the middle of the ice, a static power play because of your formation, and then negating entry with back pressure, just recognizing when a guy is isolated or vulnerable and attacking those seams. Also, pushing up and down to a certain quadrant so that you know not only where you're going, but where that puck is going. So now you can swarm, now you can pounce on pucks, and you can get the clear and find it very difficult to get back in. So in all facets of the game right now, they've been able to take control. We saw Czechia suffocate the Canadians. Well, Sweden is doing it to Czechia.
We remind you of the stakes. Sweden won gold medal in 44 years, which is basically mathematically impossible almost, considering they're one of the 3 or 4 favorites almost every one of those years, but 20 minutes away from doing it. And the Czechs, of course, looking for their first in a quarter century. They've completely rebuilt their hockey program. trying to get to the pinnacle, but they'll need a huge comeback to do it. It was nice to see some smiles from the Canadian kids today after all the tears last night. A 6-3 bronze medal win against Finland to salvage something from a disappointing World Juniors here in Minnesota. The Gavin McKenna story is fascinating. I keep thinking if someone didn't watch the Gavin McKenna story is fascinating. I keep thinking if someone didn't watch the tournament, if they're hiking in Tibet or something and just checking stats on their phone, and they go 14 points in 7 games for an 18-year-old, that's unbelievable. And yet, when we watched it, he didn't dominate the way some expected he would. He didn't have a good game last night, and now there's buzz that potentially he drops a bit in the draft. So how do you evaluate this tournament for McKenna?
I would look at it this way and say he's got all these points, but you never felt like he really took it over. So what happens when Gavin McKenna eventually takes his game to another level and starts doing all the things that he maybe doesn't do as well as he would like to right now? But I will say this about the kid. Didn't have a great performance last night. He came back today. He gets a great assist on that goal to get things going. Then on the power play, his bread and butter, he sees the ice in a way that not everyone can do it. So that's what he does well. If he finds another gear as far as his skating, his competitiveness, his willingness and ability to win battles, then the same guy who's getting all these points and leaving you wanting a little more, that's going to be a pretty good player, like a guy that can really contribute in a big way at the next level.
Yeah, and a young man that's going to grow into his body over time, and so there's going to be a maturity to his game. But you're right, Frankie. I feel like when he is with the puck, I mean, he is a magician, right? I mean, the way he scans and the way he sees really is something. I mean, his distribution and where he sees those open pockets truly is incredible. It's like he's got eyes in the back of his head, especially if he does enter the zone first with the puck, right? As the flank, often you're entering the zone first, so now all of a sudden you have to pop that puck into high ice. He can do that magically. One of the areas that I would like him to be stronger is not be as perimeter in those tough games. Try and fight for the inside of the ice, and I think that's going to be a difference maker for him if he can get there.
He's been #1 on your draft list for years, it feels like. Is he still #1? Has he dropped, or is it just a much closer race?
He hasn't dropped. He's #1. And what's happened is it's become a little bit closer. Why? Because other players have shown a capability, and they put themselves in the discussion. James, you and me talked about it in 2016. Jesse Puljujärvi and Patrick Laine put themselves in the Austin Matthews discussion. 2017, Nico Hischier said, hey, think about me. I'm in this discussion. It's great. It pushes Gavin McKenna, Ivar Stenberg, Chase Reed, Albert Schmitz, just to name 3 other guys. But that's a good thing. But to me, Gavin McKenna has got too many special qualities. You continue to evaluate, you take in information. It's interesting now, and it's fun.
Canada 1-2-3 in the scoring race of this tournament with Hage, McKenna, and Parekh. Hage with 15, McKenna and Parekh with 14 each. Of course, a couple players here could do some damage before we're done, but Canada giving up a couple too many against last night. College football playoffs down to the semis. Fiesta Bowl. Miami pulled off that upset over Ohio State. They'll take on Ole Miss. That's Thursday, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30. And then Fernando Mendoza and Indiana, the #1 ranked team, against Oregon in the Peach Bowl to decide who'll play for the national championship. The World Championship's on the line here, and Sweden's up by 2 with 20 minutes to go from Minnesota.
The 2026 IIHF World Junior Championship on TSN is brought to you in part by Wegovy. Visit wegovy.ca for savings. Some exclusions may apply.
Swedes out of their lead. A shorthanded goal in the first, a power play goal in the second. Victor Ekland gets his second of the tournament. The Swedes have won 22 of 30 faceoffs in the game. They blocked 15 shots through 2 and lead 2-0 after 40 minutes. Gordon Miller back with Mike Johnson. The Swedes with 2 goals, and Jack Berglund, the captain, has assists on both of them.
It would only seem appropriate in a game that is being played exactly the way that the Swedish coaches would like them to play, that they're being led by their captain, Jack Berglund, who has been fantastic in doing all the little things that you need to do to win a game like this, being involved physically, winning puck battles, responsible with his positioning, hard to handle, and then, oh yeah, you need a little offense at times as well, and he's done a little bit of that, including while shorthanded as a primary assist, and then parked in front, gets another primary assist with a good touch over to Eklund. He has been exactly what you want your leader to be in the biggest game, front and center, leading by example and leading with production. And he has his team 20 minutes away from a potential gold medal.
The Czechs have been a hard out in this tournament. Resilient, they've come back a number of times. And dangerous. But do they have enough push here against a Swedish team that has really squeezed the life out of their attack? Jiricek up for Chihas. 5 minutes center ice by Eriksson. Fed back down to the Czech zone. Look out, Fibiger had that knocked away by Frundell. Now Sikora out to center ice for Nestership. Across to Fibiger.
So what does Czechia do different to try to change the course of this game? They have to do something. I think more aggressive with their defensemen, more aggressive physically. That might open themselves up to chances against, but they got to do something to turn the tempo up offensively.
Now Curran moves in. Max Curran swings that wide, jumping on his Murtka. Chips that back to Politin. Across to Galvas. Shoots. That was blocked in front this time by Boumedian. Now Galvas, long shot. Knocked down by Harenstam. Benak picks it back out. Benak. And the thing went by Orkvist and fed back down to the Czech zone, right on goal. So Oršlak has to play that across to Murtka. Galvas snaps that pass in for Novotny. Bounce off his stick. Pettersson keeps it alive. This is shades of the old Swedes on big ice.
Except they're doing it. They're being incredibly physical without necessarily hitting people. Just physical in their puck pursuit and puck battles.
Browns gave a shove to Pesanichka there.
Krantz hits people.
Yes,
He's definitely not afraid to run into somebody.
Frey back with it. Works it across the line. Frey. Got to drop that off, picked up by Novotny. And the third in this tournament, the Finns fourth. U.S. finished fifth. Switzerland sixth. Denmark was relegated. Norway promoted next year. That long shot knocked away by Harenstam. Next year's tournament in Edmonton and Red Deer. As Eriksson moves in, and more than 65,000 people have signed up for the priority draw, which start drawing names in a couple of weeks. Right now, ticket sales are only open to Edmonton Oiler, Edmonton Oil King, and Red Deer Rebel season ticket holders. That shot by Eklund goes off a leg and wide. Here's Mann back with it. Lead pass goes to Klima. In comes Yuri. Klima gets a step. Shoots from a sharp angle. Harenstam makes the save on that. Brought back out by Corral. Jiricek. Back to Klima. Fibiger. For Chihas, that was stymied. Bjork picks it back up and shoots. Fires that wide up the other side. Here's Stenberg. Bjork centers it. Kicked away by Oršlak. Well, that was a tap in for Yenborg at the side of the Czech goal. Thursek goes off the side of the net, icing against the Czechs.
Ask for Wegovy by name. Visit wegovy.ca for savings.
Sometimes the save is made by the read of the play, and Oršlak understands backdoor is the option, so he beats the puck to Yenborg. Doesn't try to go across to make the save, he just makes sure the puck never even gets there by flashing the pad quickly. And the way this game is going, you can't imagine that Oršlak can let one in here. Expect his team to grab 3 during regulation.
Yenborg pokes that free. Knocked down by Jiricek, up ahead for Chihas. Wojtek Chihas had his pass picked off by Bjork. Here's Stenberg, winding back for the Swedes. Ivar Stenberg. Jumps it across the line. Stenberg got it poked away by Galvas. Stenberg was leading for London, the men's team, in scoring when it left for the Swedish camp. Now a hard shot, Boumedian. A rocket gets by Oršlak, and there's the third one for the Swedes. And they can smell it now. Sasha Boumedian gets his second of the tournament.
As all Stenberg takes it back, buys time, creates space, gets the blue line, retrieves a lost puck, possesses it confidently all the way across the blue line, draws a couple, and tees up the eventual goal scorer. That's about a 12-second possession for Stenberg. He takes it about 150 feet skating around. No one can get it off him. And Medium is the recipient of a tight angle pass. He goes short side, and Sweden can feel it now. That was beautifully done by Stenberg.
Medium, a sophomore at Boston University in the NCAA. I mentioned his dad played in the NHL, and he gives Sweden a 3-0 lead. Neptune Swedes on display as now Berglund moves in. Berglund fires off the outside of the post. Carell shoots as blocked by Galvis. Benak moving ahead. The pass instead to Curran. And brought in by Galvis. Winds into the offensive zone. Galvis pivots back and shoots. Here's Benak back with it. Bounce away from two Czech players. Now Ustavara, who scored in the first period shorthanded, gently lays it back down to the Czech zone. 4.5 gone here in the third period. And Sweden, in a part of the United States heavily populated by people of Swedish descent, and playing in an arena where the NHL team has 5 Swedish players, including 4 going to the Olympics. And maybe should be 5 because Marcus Johansson wasn't named for a while.
They feel right at home. That has just been so impressive, and Stenberg has been impressive. Again, walking around during intermission, the scouts sort of looking at you, say, Stenberg,
yeah,
it's the real deal. And you get a sense of
long-suffering Swedish fans feel a celebration coming.
Stenberg, just 18 years old, kind of strengthened his game.
He just looks like an NHL player, doesn't he? Just
yep.
In comes Frundell. Pivots back. Eklund lays it back around. Eklund works that free. For Frundell, he's knocked off the puck by Novotny. And Novotny tied up there by Eriksson, and a penalty coming to Sweden. Linus Eriksson is going to go for a hold here. And so the Czechs will get a power play. 5:18 gone in the third.
And they gotta have it here. Try to crawl back into this game. You're Czechia. Good back check by Eriksson, but he gets a little overexcited when he finally corrals Novotny. The left hand, the wrap hand, the right hand wraps the hip. Novotny goes down.
14 Sweden, minor penalty holding.
For the hold. And so Czechia haven't had a lot going on offensively at all in this game. They've given up one shorthanded goal already while on the power play. They need to find one right now.
Sikora wins the face-off back to Kubiesa. The shot whistled high by Chihas.
Sweden penalty.
Galvis moves in, swings it back across. The Chihas shot was blocked by Orkers. And again, the Swedes blocked 15 shots in the first 2 periods. Novotny plays that back to Sikora. Sikora, the captain. Back down to Chihas for Sikora. Lots of room, centers it. Orkers gets in the way of that. At the line, held by Galvis. Back to Sikora, across for Kubiesa, centers it. Novotny's shot was blocked. Galvis, back across. Kubiesa shoots. This time the goaltender stops it. Kubiesa. Out of the corner with it. Feeds it back across, and Sikora hammered that wide. Czechs need one here on the power play. Here's Sikora again, hammered that high.
He flicked out with his head again.
Kubiesa. Kubiesa winds in. That pass was blocked by Bohemian. Now bumped back out by Bjork. And both teams will change. 40 seconds to go on the Czech power play. Galvis stays out there. Lead pass to Benak. That's broken up by Berglund and sent back down the ice. Benak has the pass picked up by sent down the ice by Corral. Jiricek for Benak. Final seconds of the power play. Benak swings it back across. That shot by Nestrashil was partly blocked by Orkvist.
That's a defensive penalty kill by Orkvist.
No shots for the Czechs in that power play.
Orkvist, I think, blocked 2 or 3 of them. A couple passes as well.
In comes Benak. Drops it for Curran. Back for Benak. Centers it. And that's blocked by a sprawling Felix Corral. Chipped back up by Stenberg. And Benak back to pick it up. 31-15. The shots on goal for the Swedes. They have dominated this game in every respect. Berglund plays it back down to Celine Valenius. That's broken up by Klima. And this Swedish team has 12 players young enough to come back next year. Including Aronstam, the goalie. Stenberg is young enough as well.
If he was North American, the assumption would be he would be in the NHL, but
yeah,
Swedish, maybe not.
Orkvist back for it. Klima lays it back in. Boumedian knocks that down. And Sasha Boumedian up for Bjork to Krantz. Chips it back down to the Czech zone. As back to pick it up is Vladimir Drobetsky, who doesn't play very often for the Czechs. Kranchak moves it back ahead. That shot taken by Hludil. We're seeing some Czech players who don't get a lot of ice time all of a sudden out there in the third period.
Gotta try to find something. Get a spark.
In comes Frundell. Shields off the Czech defender. Hawkinson plays it back in the corner. Eriksson poke check. That's kicked away. Drobetsky. Brought back in by Tittlebach. Tittlebach holds and shoots. And Aronstam knocks that away. Over the head of Galvas back down the ice. And icing called against the Swedes.
Well, Aronstam hadn't had too much to do through the first 2 periods. A little busier to start the third. It was an intentional flicker off his head. I think he had to get it, too, to make sure that didn't go onto the bar. And then Tittlebach will drag and pull and hold. And there's saves, and he's making them all so far. But there's also the confidence that he is giving his team with how he looks in net, that he will be there on the very rare breakdown that occurs in front of him.
A 3-0 lead for Sweden that feels like more. Up the face-off. Nestrashil shot was blocked. He gets it right back. Nestrashil centers it. Seeker missed on that. In comes Murka. Murka. Pass missed Nestrashil. Galvas back with it. Back in the corner. Hawkinson. Puck lifted back down the ice again by Eriksson. You think back to 2012, the Swedes gold medalists in Calgary, that 1-0 win over Russia in the gold medal game, and that star-studded team. Anton Forsberg in goal, John Klingberg on defense, Jonas Brodin. The forwards were the likes of Philip Forsberg, William Karlsson, Ricard Raquel, and the man who scored the golden goal, Mika Zibanejad. That was a very good Swedish team. They've sent a lot of great teams to this tournament.
You can read off names like that a lot for teams that didn't win.
Right.
This has been a complete team effort.
Eklund plays it back around. Waiting for it is Stenberg. Picked up by Alphonse Frey, the Winnipeg second-round pick. Nestrashil at the center ice. Chipped ahead by Seeker. Back goes Frey to pick it up. Past the midway point of the third period.
Nice little fake. Smooth.
Lead pass to Yenborg. Chips it back down in the Czech zone. Yenborg goes back after it. Knocked free by Viggo Bjork. Bjork back down to Stenberg. Stenberg back around as Celine Valenius steps up. Here's Stenberg. Taps that through the crease. Just missed Yenborg with that pass. After the game, we'll have the silver and gold medal presentations. We'll also have the announcement of the tournament all-star team, the director of awards, including the MVP of the tournament. As Boumediene goes back. Benak picked off that clearing attempt and fired that shot wide. Pasanichka, and the puck chipped by him. Man up ahead to Benak. Benak scored a crucial goal in the semifinal win over Canada last night. He's stripped it up. Pettersson brings it back for the Swedes. Pettersson in across the line. Pettersson shoots, knocked away by Orsolak. Here's Berglund on it. Pivots back, Berglund. It's crunched there by Novotny. Berglund stays on it. And that shot by Carell goes high off the glass. Pettersson back with it. Picked up by Mann. Brought back in by Novotny. And Novotny shoots, kicked out by Arnstein, who made that maybe harder than it had to be.
Most dangerous Czech player has been 24 Novotny. Two-row Pete Star.
He doesn't have a goal yet in the tournament. Picked free by Tittleback, drops that back. Pasanichka shoots. That's blocked by Pettersson. Novotny centers it. And Carell back to pick it up. And Carell for Ustavara. Open the scoring with a big short-handed goal in the first period. What a swing that was. Checks in the power play, but the Swedes open the scoring with a short-handed margin. Here's Boumediene. That is the third goal for Sweden. Up ahead for Eklund. Chips it back down to the Czech zone. Move back around for Klima. Away from Frundell. And Klima skates it back out. Rink wide pass to Murtka. Centers it. Now move back down to the Czech zone, and a rolling puck was wide of the goal. Icing called against the Swedes.
Sweden up 3-0. They are taking no risks. They get a puck they don't like, they put it right down. Trust that the face-off prowess they've shown through 2 periods will continue on in the third. And this guy right here, Viggo Bjork, number 21, has really impressed me for Sweden. Draft-eligible player, 17 years old, and he gets so much responsibility.
Playing on this team with his older brother, Wilson. That shot blocked by Boumediene. Picked back up by Jiricek, who jumps up. Adam Jiricek shoots from a sharp angle, but it's fought off by Herrenstein. Fibiger back across to Jiricek, shoots. And stopping, you heard this before, but that was blocked. Out to center ice, races to his Frundell. Jiricek back for it. Takes a whack from Frundell, and now Jiricek gathers up the loose puck. 6.5 to go in the third period. Jiricek for Fibiger. Crunched there by Berglund at center ice. And now Berglund knocks down that pass ahead. What a game he's had. Stenberg winds in across the line and now pivots back. And Stenberg puts it across to Carell. Lead pass to Berglund. Flips that to Yenborg with a shot that's stopped by Orsolak. Galvis winds out. That pass broken up as well. Galvis pivots back as the Swedes are changing. Long lead feed to Politin. It's knocked by Herrenstein as it took a strange bounce in the corner. Now knocked down by Frey. Frey gets a second try and looks ahead and finds Pettersson. 2-on-1 with Eriksson. Pettersson for the trailer. Ustavara with a shot. And the glove save made by Michal Orsolak. 5:32 to go in the third period. Sasha Boumediene gives Sweden a 3-0 lead in the gold medal game. A great hockey nation that produces player after player, 71-5 in the preliminary rounds in 2008, including a 56-game winning streak. But 1 gold medal in the last 44 World Juniors. Gold medals in 1981 and 2012. Magnus Havlet has talked openly the last couple of years about the importance of Sweden erasing that legacy and creating a new one.
5.5 away from stopping all that chatter for a little while.
They liked their team coming in. They thought they had a very good team coming in, liked their goaltending.
Goaltending's a real wild card in this tournament. Even highly touted goalies don't always put up good numbers. Harenstam has been consistent the whole time here.
He's a 6th round pick by St. Louis. Probably going to be named the goalie of the tournament.
No doubt about that.
Eklund plays it back in. Here's Novotny. And Novotny chips it back down to the Swedish zone. Picked up by Hludil. That pass was blocked by Frey. Celine Valenius pivots back, and Celine Valenius shields off Hludil, lifts it high in the air. And Mann skied to knock that down. Novotny picks it up. And Celine Valenius picked off that pass. Here is Frey with it. Off the boards and back out to center. Eklund chips out ahead. Eriksson. Back for Stenberg. Out to center ice to Yenborg. Yenborg also young enough to come back next year, the Detroit 2nd rounder. This was a younger than usual tournament for all of these teams. Canada has as many as 10 of them come back next year. No one close to the Slovaks, who have 18 players young enough to come back next year. That's unheard of. Stenberg pokes that free. Stenberg shoots it off the stick of Orchelak. 4 to go in the 3rd. Gubiesa. And that pass broken up by Stenberg. And Stenberg wanted a tripping penalty there. Yenborg plays that back to Celine Valenius. Back around to Carell. Galvis. And the pivot back, taken away by Pettersson. They'll bump it back down to the Czech zone. Boumediene. Cross to Felix Orkvist. That pass misfires, and it's icing by the Swedes.
And Luva Harenstam has been the goalie of record for Sweden throughout this tournament. And you know, sometimes when you're not so busy, that can be a challenge of its own. You're getting 5-6 shots a period. But the odd one you get, you got to be clean with, and he has done exactly that. And really looks locked in. Any potential chance that has come his way. He's had a good year in Södertälje, Sweden. A pretty decorated international career as well. Not winning golds, but a lot of playing in silvers, bronzes.
And for the Czechs, this will be a 4th straight year with a medal. 2 silvers, 2 bronzes. And the Czech net is empty. So 6 skaters on 5 with 3:20 to go here in the 3rd. Nestershil centers it. Picked back up by Benak. Fibiger in for Benak. Back around to Nestershil. Sikora to Jiricek. Back to Sikora. Shoots, it's blocked by Boumediene. Another chance. Fibiger put that wide. Sikora. Nestershil. Back to Sikora. And Sikora. Nestershil chops out at the side of the goal. Benak. In for Novotny. And Novotny jam plays side of the goal. That squirts wide. Boumediene. Around the boards, got it back up by Jiricek, plays it in deep for Sikora. Sikora. Benak. Nestershil. Plays that back, Fibiger, back across. Jiricek shoots, scores! Adam Jiricek gets his 5th of the tournament. And with 2:24 to go, the Czechs are down 2.
Okay. Step 1. You got to get one. You got to get one pretty early. They have the early goalie pull. Spend the entire time in the offense zone, a couple good keeps on the blue line, and they finally were able to get Sweden sucked way in deep. Everyone right on the lip of the crease, and that opens up an easy square pass, close enough where Harenstam and the shot blockers couldn't get across, and Jiricek's able to put it into the mostly empty net. Harenstam almost gets a piece, but not quite enough before it knocks our camera right out. And now goalie back in. You're trying to get a face-off win back in the offense zone, ideally a whistle, to do it again with the goalie out.
the Czechs here late. Here comes Orszlak back to the Czech bench. Chias comes on.
Oh, he had to jump. That was too many men for starters, but Orszlak, he's in the air. It's an icing. He's a bit quicker.
Galvis winds it across the line, drops it off for Kubiesa. Curran races to it. Max Curran. 2 minutes to go in the third. Curran back across to Galvis. Galvis in for Kubiesa. To Galvis. Feeds it back across. A shot by Chias goes wide. He had a clean look. Galvis back in for Kubiesa. To Galvis. Shoots it. Goes off the skate. Bergman of Kubiesa fires. Harrison save. Loose puck in front. Bulletin shoots. That was blocked in front. As Carell got in the way. Galvis back across. Chias shoots and Harrison fights that off. The Czechs are all over Sweden here. Gravetsky. Kubiesa. Gravetsky. Kubiesa tees it up and shoots off the outside of the post. Back at the point, Gravetsky. Feeds it back across. Chias' shot was blocked. Held at the line by Gravetsky. Kubiesa. And the Curran shot was blocked. Here's Kubiesa back with it. Kubiesa. Looks back door. Galvis reaching for it, able to keep the puck alive. Feeds it down to Curran. Curran with the puck at his feet. Flips up to Galvis. Curran holds it again. Back across to Galvis. Galvis walks in. Great play there by Eklund and knocked the puck out to center ice. A desperation lunge by Eklund. And the Czechs have to regroup. Sikora moves in. Slivlenius can't clear the puck up. Peterger knocks it down. Now Slivlenius has some time, but again, Peterger gets it alive. In comes Jiricek. Jiricek throws it back in front. Jam play there. Bulletin turned away. 25 seconds to go. Here's Kubiesa with a shot. Scores! Mate Kubiesa with 23 seconds left, and the Czechs are within one.
What a wild push by Czechia. They get the sixth attacker out there, doing a fantastic job keeping the puck in, getting to the net. Tracking now rebounds. Kubiesa has shown the good shot throughout the tournament. Fibiger kicks it over. Just got to get it down there somewhere, find a way to get it past the shot blocker. And he gets past Carell and past Harnstam as well. The greatest challenge for Czechia now is the clock.
Czechs have called timeout. 23.3 seconds remaining.
So not a lot of time for a lot of options. You almost have to start with the goalie out of the net. If you lose the face-off and Sweden's able to pass it for a chip-in, that's almost the game.
Robert Reichel on the Czech bench.
A brilliant offensive player in his career, trying to find one more magical moment after a 2-goal surge with their goalie out in the last 4 minutes.
Goals exactly 2 minutes apart. Orszlak is going back into the Czech goal.
Czechia has got to figure out who they want on the ice. They got 3 guys only. Many more players out here for Czechia. Now the decision's made.
All right, so Sikora for the face-off against Bjork.
It's going to be the first time in 12 years, second time in 45. It's not supposed to be easy.
Well, face-off controlled by the Swedes, picked up though by the Czechs. Sikora bumps it in. Harrison steers that away. Orszlak goes to the bench. On comes Chias. Time winding down. Bjork plays that down. The defender Kubiesa slip. Here's Stenberg. Scores! Ivar Stenberg restores some Swedish sanity
while losing his.
Yes. What turned into a white-knuckle gold medal game. Sees Ivar Stenberg get his 4th of the tournament.
They got the puck in. Unfortunately, Kubiesa pulls a tire. It wouldn't have mattered anyways. Not enough time to make anything happen, but caps off a pretty great gold medal game for Ivar Stenberg. Trying to make a push for first overall. He'll take the first gold in a decade and a half for Sweden. And this scene is what this tournament is all about. Never get old.
Kids playing for their country over the holidays. And for this country more than any other. The years of heartbreak, of overtime losses, shootout losses, upset losses. But now the Swedes will win their third ever gold medal. Sweden, the World Junior Champions in Minnesota. They take it by a final score of 4-2, and the gold goes to the team in gold. This is a celebration that is going to last for a very long time. Every once in a while, we're at Mika Zibanejad at an NHL arena, and he'll talk about what it meant to win in 2012. And for the Czechs, another silver medal. They came so close late. And their first ever gold medal showdown between Czechia and Sweden turned out to be.
Took 55 minutes to heat up, but boy, did it ever get going at the end. Sweden was in such control the entire game. But maybe it makes it all the sweeter that it was stressful at the end. Gutsy push by Czechia, but just a little short.
Let's go to Kenzie Lalonde. She's standing by with Anton Frundell.
Well, Anton, you think the last time Sweden won a gold medal at this tournament, you were just 5 years old. Here we are 14 years later, golden. How do you describe this moment?
Incredible. I don't know, I'm just so happy right now. It's crazy. I love it.
Well, we think of the success you've had over the years of preliminary play, and then when it comes to the elimination, this team falls short. But this time you got it done. How did you guys get this win?
Yeah, I mean, this group, it's fantastic how tight we are. We're like a big family. Like you see, everyone is hugging each other, so yeah, that's important if you want to win.
Third overall pick in the 2025 NHL Draft, 2026 World Junior Gold Medalist. Anton, what's next?
I don't know. Yeah, great year so far.
Maybe get stitched up, I guess?
Yeah, I don't know what happened or celebrated so hard.
Have fun.
Thank you.
We'll get the presentation of the silver and gold medals. We will also have the announcement of the tournament all-star team, the director awards, and the MVP award. The tournament scoring leader wound up being Michael Hage of Canada with 15 points in 7 games.
As much fun as to see the happiness and joy, it's just look to their blue line and find the exact opposite. Czechia pushed so hard, came so close.
Of this World Championship, the 3 best players of the 2026 IIHF World Junior Championship are goalkeeper of Team Sweden, number 30, Lou Herenstam.
Herenstam is the director award winner for the top goalie. This is chosen by the management groups of the various teams.
Defender of Team Czechia, number 5, Adam Juracek.
Juracek named the top D.
And forward of Team Sweden, number 16, Anton Frundell.
So that's the director award. The media votes for the MVP and the all-star team.
The media has selected the following players to the championship all-star team. Goalkeeper of Team Sweden, number 30, Löv Härenstam. Defender of Team Canada, number 19, Zane Perek. Defender of Team Czechia, number 23, Tomáš Galvis. Forward of Team Canada, number 29, Michael Hage. Forward of Team Sweden, number 16, Anton Frondell. And forward of Team Czechia, number 15, Wojtek Cihas. Ladies and gentlemen, the best players of each team will now be awarded with a Faribault Mill blanket featuring the Land of 10,000 Rinks mural, specially commissioned for the 2026 IIHF World Junior Championship. Designed by Minnesota-based Indigenous artist Shauna Boulette-Graffentine as part of the Assist 26 community initiative, the artwork honors the Indigenous lands, cultural teachings, and deep hockey roots that define Minnesota. Presenting the awards, please welcome Jeremy Reed, Executive Director of Minnesota Hockey. The best player of Team Czechia is number 11, Mate Kubiesa.
Scored the second goal to get them within one with 23 seconds left. Kubiesa.
The best player of Team Sweden is number 18, Victor Eklund.
Scored the big goal in the second period.
And the way this game is played, he's probably up there as much for his defense and his shot blocking and his penalty killing and all the little things he did to go along with the goal.
His older brother, William, drafted by San Jose 5 years ago. He's an Islander first-round pick.
The commemorative awards for the on-ice officials of the gold medal game will be presented by Franz Reindl, IIHF Council member and 2026 IIHF World Junior Championship chairperson. Please welcome referees Troy Murray and Yanni Wernheimo. And linespersons Anthony Lapointe and Yoni Pekala.
Troy Murray from Regina, Saskatchewan, one of the referees, and Anthony Lapointe from Montreal, one of the linesmen. A big honor to be selected to work the gold medal game, which means there's a decent chance we'll be seeing these guys down the road in future world championships. We should get the silver medals.
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the Tissot carpet for the presentation of the 2026 IIHF World Junior Championship Murray Costello Most Valuable Player Award. Presenting the award, please welcome Luc Tardif, President of the International Ice Hockey Federation. The winner of the Murray Costello Most Valuable Player Award is number 15 of Team Czechia, Wojtek Cihas.
The leading scorer for the Czechs in the tournament, one of the top scorers overall.
On his way to Kelowna.
Yeah. LA second-round pick will join the Rockets after starting the year in Czechia.
And now the silver medals will be presented by Luc Tardif, President of the International Ice Hockey Federation, and Peter Briza, Senior Vice President of the International Ice Hockey Federation and Chairperson of the 2026 IIHF World Junior Championship.
Peter Briza on the right, a legendary national team goaltender for the Czechs.
And now, the 2026 IIHF World Junior Championship silver medals go to Team Czechia.
4 straight years of the medals for the Czechs. 2 silver, 2 bronze.
But given the long run they had where they were really not a threat to medal, it has been a decisive turnaround for the Czech program. And as you mentioned, they will be good again next year.
Until today, they were the only team outside of Canada and the United States that won a gold medal in the last 3 years in a top-level IIHF competition, the World Championship 2 years ago. This win by Sweden ends a 6-year run where Canada and the United States won every World Junior gold, 3 each. What a tournament Sikora had for the Czechs. And the 2 defensemen, Jiricek and Galvis, were so dynamic.
Totally different players, but were both incredibly effective. Jiricek, the high first-round pick, and Galvis not drafted.
Patrick Augusta, their head coach. His father, Josef, coached the Czechs to World Championship gold medals in the early 2000s. And one of the best parts of the sport is you compete hard and then at the end, shake the other person's hand and look forward to seeing them again. And the Swedes have had to wait 14 years to get their gold medals, a little while longer.
They don't mind one bit. You can almost see the pent-up pressure finally come out of them when they got that the empty net goal, when they knew they were going to win.
Should get the presentation of the second place trophy next. Sweden wins gold for the 3rd time in its history. The Czechs were looking for their first gold medal in 25 years. Came up just short with that late push. All right, the handshakes are done. And now the second place trophy.
Fans, please welcome back championship chairperson Peter Briza. Will the captain of Team Czechia, Peter Sikora, please come forward to accept the second place award.
He had such a good tournament.
Oh, he did everything for them.
He was right there front and center for all the success that
Turned
Czechia
20
had.
on January 2nd, one of the oldest players in the tournament, and he was a penalty killer, the power play catalyst, you name it. Face-off guy.
Be a pretty good 6th-round pick for Washington.
The gold medals will be presented by Luc Tardif, president of the International Ice Hockey Federation, and Anders Larsson, IIHF council member and president of the Swedish Ice Hockey Association.
2 years ago, Anders Larsson
And
walked in
now,
Gothenburg.
The 2026
As the United
IIHF
States beat the
World
Swedes on
Junior
home ice in the gold medal game, it was a bitter
Go
defeat
to
for the Swedes.
Sweden.
And they returned the favor here in St. Paul with a win on American ice. Been a long time coming for the Swedes.
Done red, guys. Nice color.
We'll hope that this win put an end to all that talk about not winning for the Swedish teams going forward. These guys have paved the way, ended the streak, and did it in convincing fashion other than the last 2 minutes. Perfect throughout the tournament. And just another reminder of how close these things can be. Finland had 2 penalty shots and 1 potential penalty shot save to advance to the final.
Right.
3 cracks at it to knock Sweden out again.
A late power play in overtime.
And all the chips fell Sweden's way.
After so many years where they didn't.
And then they made the most of it. They were suffocatingly good for almost all this game.
And you wonder how many of these 12 will be back next year of the eligible players. Berglund ages out. What a tournament he had, the captain. The Chicago Blackhawks will be watching Anton Frundell closely in the second half of the year. 10 goals in 25 games for Djurgården in the Swedish Hockey League this year.
Add him to the pile of good young Chicago players they're building around.
And there's goaltender Herman Liv receiving his gold medal. His father, Stefan, was a gold medalist with the Swedes in 2006 at the Olympics. Tragically passed away in the 2011 Yaroslavl plane crash.
Well, let's see Jack Berglund out in the middle, greeting each one of his teammates after they got their medal individually. Now the fun begins.
Makes the long flight home a lot easier.
It won't be long enough for the fun they're going to have.
This tournament is very big in Sweden. Coach Magnus Havlik gets his gold medal. Roger Ronberg coached them to gold in 2012.
We invite you to please stand if you are able for the national anthem of the 2026 IIHF World Junior Champion, Sweden. Welcome back, President of the International Ice Hockey Federation, Luc Tardif. for the closing speech of the championship.
Before to close this World Championship 2026 in Minneapolis, St. Paul, I would like to, all of you, we give a hand to those young guys who present us tonight. A fantastic show till the end. So I would like first to thank the city of St. Paul and Minneapolis to give us the setup, fantastic, to present a tournament at the level that you saw. I would like also to thank the Wild, who gave us the possibility to play in this fantastic ice rink. University of Minneapolis for the second venue, who gave us also a good treatment. I would like to thank the organization committee and USA Hockey for the outstanding work during this week. And, of course, close than 300 volunteers who smile all the time and did a fantastic job around the players, around the team. So I'm not going to be long because I think those young guys wait for the trophy. But I have to close the ceremony. So on behalf of IIHF, I declare this World Championship 2026 closed. Captain, please.
Or it would have been over. They would have been done. He does. They go on to win that game, and now they are World Junior Champions. And with the exception of that last little push by Czechia, what a clinic by Sweden to win this one.
It was unbelievable, the games that the Swedes played, and we knew exactly what the Czechs were going to do. All about puck pursuit, going to get it. They just could never get to that game, and at the beginning of the game, Mike Johnson, Gord Miller, they talked about it. It's going to be two different styles of play. The team that gets to their game plan is going to win, and ultimately it was the Swedes.
Yeah, when you only give up 6 shots on goal and 5 shots on goal in the second, so 11 collectively through 2 periods, you know you've done something special, and we're seeing something special here tonight in Minnesota. They're shimmying.
I've never seen the team photo shimmy in the history of the World Juniors.
Well, you think about James DeMargins having to kill a penalty in overtime, having to score on the 5th shootout to stay alive. That game went back. Great penalty killing here against a really strong Czechia team. There wasn't much separating this team, but this game was won on the margins, and Sweden were on the right side.
How good do you think Bjork feels after having those 4 different breakaways and then finally capturing a gold medal tonight? It's just unbelievable. When you say the margins, I mean, excellence is abnormal. One team wins, you guys, and pretty incredible to see these young guys and the smiles on their faces right now.
For the last 20 years, with the exception of 2012, shout out Mika Zibanejad, we've had to see every year how dominant Sweden is in group play, and then how they always falter with the gold medal on the line. Not this time. 7-0, the elusive gold medal is theirs.
2026 IIHF World Junior Championship on TSN is brought to you in part by TELUS, now offering 5-year plan price lock on select mobility and internet plans. By ESSO, from the ESSO Medals program to representing Team Canada, ESSO is dedicated to Canada's game. And by Tim Hortons, proudly supporting over 100,000 Timbits hockey players in Canada.
A diamond. Every stitch reflects our resilience, pride, and belonging, forged through time and pressure. Canada's 2026 Olympic jersey, a symbol forged in ice.
We all watched what Czechia did to Canada last night with that forecheck, which makes this performance by Sweden even more impressive. They run the table 7-0 and World Junior Champions for the first time since 2012. You heard the all-star team announced for the tournament, featuring 2 Canadians, Zane Parekh, who breaks the record for most points by a Canadian defenseman at the World Juniors, and Michael Hage, who was terrific and Canada's best player throughout. Arnstam really not close, the goaltender. He was the best one by far. And Chias, of course, gets the tournament MVP. One last time with Cheryl, Frankie, and Craig. What will you take away from this World Juniors?
The emotional roller coaster and how difficult it is to win. And I'm going right at semifinal Sunday. It was absolutely incredible. If you look at that Sweden and Finland overtime, and then again Canada versus Czechia. Hage, 2 penalty shots, unbelievable, just showing how difficult it is to get to the gold medal game.
It was the epitome of junior hockey at its best. The highs and lows, the momentum swings. We saw it all tournament long, but when it came down to it, it was a pro-style game that won the Swedes the gold medal in the final.
It's a fine line right now, and Frankie, you talked about this earlier. The difference between these teams is so small. And going into Edmonton Red Deer next year, I don't think that's going to become any larger. I think it's a real fine line between winning and losing.
Oh, we say how much we love this tournament in Canada, and if you love this tournament, you have to love this tournament even when Canada doesn't win this tournament, which has become a habit the last 3 years or so. But you're right, the hockey fantastic. And after 14 years of only the Americans, the Canadians, and the Finns, nice to see Sweden finally get one, and just their second in the last 45 years. Here's the shimmy shake again, the golden shimmy shake of Sweden. We'll be back to say goodbye from the 2026 World Juniors right after this. They go 7-0 and win the first gold medal for Sweden at the World Juniors in 14 long years. So we start to look forward to next year, and this is the way the groupings are likely to look. And Group A is going to be tough. Sweden, Gord mentioned, as many as 12 players returning for this gold medal team. Finland and the Americans with Slovakia and Germany. Canada's new nemesis, Czechia, back in the group with them yet again. Switzerland, Latvia, Norway. Now, there's always a possibility, as the Americans did this year, moving Canada to another group, that Canada could swap one of the teams. We'll see what happens, but as it stands now, it looked like it would be Czechia on New Year's Eve in Edmonton against Canada. And so that's it for the 50th World Junior Hockey Championship. And as always, the hockey was absolutely awesome. Those 2 semifinals last night were everything we love about this tournament. Wild momentum swings, unbelievable talent, mistakes, mayhem, cheers, and tears, and a worthy gold medalist in Sweden. Hey, here's a little silver lining for Canada. The only team that beat Sweden, Canada, in pre-tournament action, which meant absolutely nothing as the Swedes go undefeated here at the tournament. We want to thank our crew, particularly all those behind the scenes who work a lot harder than those in front of the camera, for giving up their holidays to bring in this World Junior Tournament. And we thank you, as we do every year, for sharing your holidays with us. We'll see you next year in Edmonton and Red Deer.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to get through this thing called life. In the dear words, bridge for hell, that's a mighty long time, but I'm here to tell you, one time.
when you hear that music, just feels like the holiday season. So let's wrap up the holiday season on SportsCenter with Jay Onright, brought to you by Harvey's. Mike Garofalo from the NFL Network is here. 4 coaches were fired on Black Monday. Marty Biron joins us. And James Duthie in the TSN hockey panel from Minnesota, where Canada was taking on Finland for the bronze medal. The Canadians obviously disheartened after the loss to Czechia in the semifinals. Early first, Canada 2-on-1. Michael Hage to Sam O'Reilly to the backhand and in. What a great start for the Canadians. They are up 1-0, just a minute 10 seconds in. And after Finland tied things up at 1, Braden Coots buries it for his second of the tournament. Cootsy! Canada regains the lead. It's 2-1. Zane Perek came into this one just 1 point back of tying the Canadian record for points by a defenseman in a single World Juniors. Tied at 2 late in the period. Gord Miller on the call.
Chips it back to Perek. Walks right into fire, scores! Zane Perek with another.
Zane Perek's 12th point ties with Alex Pietrangelo and Brian McCabe for the all-time Canadian lead. By the way, Carlo Koliakovo is on this list. Further down, but he's on it. Early second, Perek to T.J. Ginla, to Porter Martone, the Canadian captain with his 6th. And with that assist, Perek takes the all-time lead for points among Canadian defensemen at the World Juniors. 4-2 Canada, still 4-2. Canada on another power play in the second. And it'll be O'Reilly redirecting his second of the game. 5-2 for the Canadians, now 5-3 in the third. Finland's on the power play. Great opportunity in front. Carter George making his first start since playing the Finns on New Year's Eve. Great save, keeps it a 2-goal lead. 6.5 to go. Gavin McKenna to Hage, back to McKenna, and he's got the goal, the 4th point of the game for both Hage and McKenna. Canada beat the Finns, and they capture their 6th ever World Junior bronze medal. Here's Zane Perek on getting ready to play in this game.
It was tough. I mean, I was really sad this morning, really disappointed, and obviously the whole group was. You know, we kind of had the whole country of Canada behind us, and we let them down. So, you know, it was sad. It was a tight turnaround, but I think it took us 20 minutes to kind of, you know, realize that we still got another 40 to play, and we're still wearing the Canadian jersey. So we wanted to show some pride and show some resilience and end on a win, and we did.
Honestly, it's the toughest game that you could play, and probably in the whole world. But yeah, I think we talked about it, you know, this morning when we got to the rink. It's kind of like just the pride you want to be left with, and how you want to be remembered. Obviously, it's not the game we wanted to be in. We wanted to be in a gold medal game, but just the way we responded and when we played, everyone went out there and played their hearts out. So I know I'm very proud of every single guy in that room, and I know a lot of people should be as well.
We are proud of you guys. The last time Canada went 3 straight tournaments without hosting better than a bronze medal, 2012 to 2014. In the last 14 years, Canada has failed to medal 6 times. The previous 14 years, they medaled every single year. With more, the hardest working man in show business, James Duthie.
Thank you one last time from Minnesota alongside Cheryl Pounder and Frankie Corrado and Jeff O'Neill. So Canada goes 6-1. They score a rather remarkable 42 goals in the 7 games, and yet they will go home disappointed, and Canadians will be disappointed because the medal is bronze and not gold. First of all, evaluate how they were able to come back from that heartbreak in the semifinal in the bronze medal game, and then how should we perceive their performance in this entire tournament?
I thought it was impressive, James, how they bounced back from that disappointment of last night. Every kid growing up, they don't think about winning the bronze for the World Juniors. All they think about is winning the gold. It was a bit slow It was a bit of a slow start to this game. It was quiet out there. You could hear conversations, but they picked it up and they got the job done. As far as this team in general, I don't think there needs to be a summit. I just think you continue to do what you do. Best players, game breakers, game changers, and you hope they can figure it out. They lost one hockey game, and they scored a ton of goals. That should be good enough. They just didn't have their best stuff in that semifinal game. It was a heck of a team. It was just 60 minutes of hockey. They couldn't figure it out, and it cost them winning a gold medal. I don't think there has to be a summit, figure things out. Find some kind of balance between Ottawa and Minnesota, where they had difficult scoring, and then they had difficulty keeping it out of their net, somewhere in between.
If you look at the last 2 gold medals that Canada has won, they've been really dramatic, like right at the end, and you think to yourself, like, that's the margins now between winning and losing, and now they're on the wrong side of it. But I agree with Jeff. That doesn't have to be this big summit. Maybe what you would want to see is this team come together a little sooner to button things up, navigate some of the highs and lows, which are things that are so prominent in junior hockey.
Yeah, and for me, it would be managing the backhand. I think that was critical, managing the turnovers in those big games. 21 goals against, the most since 1995. So you can have the offensive explosion, but if you're going to be in a track meet, you are going to be in a game when you're up against a great team like Czech. You can suffocate. You have to stay connected, and that's something I just felt they really didn't do very well. They couldn't shut it down, right? They couldn't find a way to close up that middle of the ice and really lock it in.
Game management in general from a young age has to improve. Kids just want to go, go, go. They get 6, they want 10. Sometimes you got to manage the clock and manage the game.
I think the only summit should be how to beat Czechia, because that's it. That's the only problem they have at the World Juniors the last 3 years. Some fantastic individual stories, led by Michael Hage, who wasn't invited to camp last year, somehow is not named one of Canada's 3 best players in the tournament when he was maybe the best forward in the entire tournament.
Yeah, and if he doesn't hit a post or if he scores on one of those penalty shots, is he the MVP of this tournament? I mean, that's how good this guy was. In the offensive zone, he was dynamic. He used his speed up and down the ice through neutral ice. And the way he worked with McKenna and Martin, I mean, it was a trifecta. Those guys were all over the offensive zone. But one of the things you always notice was number 29, when the puck was on his stick or when the puck was off his stick. He even led in O-zone possession time today. Yet again, you look at the offensive metrics, he's ahead of all of them, if not for Canada, but also for the tournament. So it didn't matter whether this guy was at 5-on-5 or whether he was on the power play. He just got things done.
And then there's Gavin McKenna, who if you read the comments about him online, you'd think he had a point or something in this tournament. He has 14 in 7 games. No, he didn't dominate necessarily the way people expected him to, but as an 18-year-old, 14 points is nothing to sneeze at. So how do you evaluate him?
It's so fascinating because it feels lukewarm around Gavin McKenna, but he racked up all these points, and right now, that's what he is. He's a guy that's going to get points. And in this game, a little bit of redemption, because you're right, he did not dominate in the semifinal, but here he is making a really gifted, talented play to get this puck off the wall, leads to a 2-on-1. He's a big reason why you score a goal. And then on the power play, which is his bread and butter, like, that's a great pass. That's an NHL pass. But his game at times leaves a little to be desired with some of the puck pursuit, the battles, the play on the wall. No doubt, Gavin McKenna is going to get points throughout the course of his NHL career, but just evaluating this tournament, the points are there. You still have a little bit of a lukewarm feeling about what you saw on the ice.
It's a bit of a similar story with Zane Parekh, who breaks the all-time record for most points by a defenseman, a Canadian defenseman in this tournament. Almost breaks the all-time record for any defenseman in the tournament, 1 point shy. Most goals by a Canadian defenseman with 5. Just dynamic offensively, and yet some are saying, well, I don't know if he's going to be a good NHLer because he's playing the defensive end.
That was as good as it gets for a defenseman back there, James. He controlled the play, and his offensive abilities are second to none. He looks like a gifted NHL player, a Chris Letang and Erik Karlsson, a right-handed shot that can do it all. His decision-making, his puck handling, his ability to shoot the puck and pass the puck. Not everybody makes that play. What he's got to figure, he was kind of like Team Canada. I want to go, 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 and sometimes what happens in my own zone, I don't really care that much about. But as far as offensively, shooting the puck and contributing offensively, it's as good as it gets from a D-man back there.
You're right. He's the personification of what this team was. Incredible offensively, some issues sometimes in their own end. They'll try to win their first gold medal in 4 years next year in Edmonton, and they'll have a pretty good core coming back. 10 eligible returnees. Now, they're not likely to get all of these guys, but likely a good chunk, maybe 7 or 8, as they try to end the drought at home in Edmonton.
So the gold medal game was Sweden and Czechia. The Swedes looking to win their first gold since 2012. Czechia has not won since 2001. 5.5 to go in the first. Sweden shorthanded Jack Berglund. Stop. Kasper Justavara gets the opening goal. First time since 2016 that it's an all-European final. It's 1-0 for Sweden. In the second, Berglund swats the loose puck to Victor Eklund, and he buries it. Sweden is up 2-0 on the Czechs. Let's go to the third projected second overall pick in the upcoming NHL draft. Ivar Stenberg picks up the puck in his own end. Into the offensive zone. Gathers the puck back. Finds Sasha Boumedienne. And he rips it home. Boumedienne is the Jets' first rounder. We're going to be talking about the Jets a little later in this show. Kevin Cheveldayoff had a presser on Monday. Didn't go well. Czechia, goalie pulled, 2 to go. Adam Juracek giving Czechia some life. 30 seconds left. Matej Kubiesa rips it, his third of the tournament. Czechia scored 2 goals with the net empty. They're within 1. It's a 3-2 hockey game with 13 seconds to go. Stenberg puts it in the empty cage. And Sweden runs the table and breaks a 13-year gold medal drought. And here are the Swedes getting their gold medals. Anton Frundell won best forward of the tournament. Levi Harnstrom won best goalie in the tournament. Sweden, World Junior champions for the first time since 2012. We'll be back with the Raptors and Senators.